What's up, good people? We are back in the building, back in the saddle, about to get this thing going. I'd like to welcome everybody who's coming in today, whether you're catching it right now live or whether you're catching it after it's uploaded. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that like button on the way in, dotting some I's and crossing some T's, getting this thing ready to go, getting it started, pulling up the intro. But I'd like to welcome everybody who's going to make it in today. You see the thumbnail, you see the title, you see the special guest, so you know it's going to be a little controversial. Little controversial up in here, but we about to be doing it, about to be getting it in, about to be getting it ready. So strap on in. Let's get ready to go. Let's get ready to roll.
Peace, folks. This is X from TPOT Media. Open your mind and wake your black ass up. You know what time it is. Hit that damn like button as you make your way in the door. Grab a seat, settle in, get ready. It's the Grown Man Hour with your host, my man, Bernard Riley.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Mumia Obsidian Ali. You know who I am. I need no introduction, right? And you're listening to the Grown Man Hour with my man Bernard Riley, heard weekdays right here on YouTube. What do you think about that? How about that? Now let's get back on with the show. Thank you.
What's up, good people? Welcome back. Today has been kind of a slow week for me. Had a lot of things going on. Had some equipment die on me. Had to do all kind of new stuff to get everything back operational in here, but we finally got it. Finally got it ready to go. Fully functional, up and rolling. Well, let me double check that. Hold on. Okay, yeah, this the right mic set. Got the mic set right. Got everything set right. So, man, thank you, everybody, for making it on in. Make sure you hit that like button. We will be joined momentarily by Mumia Obsidian Ali. And we're going to be getting this thing in. I'm actually sending the link to him right now as we speak. So we're about to be getting that thing started. Hope everybody's having a great morning. Hope everybody is having a great, excellent, and wonderful morning. TGIF. All right, there it is. The link is sent. All right. I almost don't want to know. I'm not going to start on the main topic until he gets here. So y'all got to have to wait a little bit for that. But I just sent him the link. And so he should be coming up real soon. But as usual, shout out to those that make it in bright and early before things even get officially started. Greatly appreciate everybody. Got Stoic One in the building. Al Boogie in the building. Chief BD in the building. What's going on? Christoph Ulrich, elbow cough. All right. Pace Flow says salute Bernard. Hashtag Kevin Samuel strikes again. Absolutely. Saludin El Rahim. This show is late. LOL. You talking about me starting late or the show we should have been did this show? Yeah, gotta take it easy sometimes doing shows like this, especially with that thumbnail I got going on. I don't know if I might have to take that thumbnail down. Oh man, the antisocial socialite. Love that name. Love that name. It's like, probably top 10 in YouTube names around this space. He says, I'm calling in sick for this one. Right on, my man. Don't call in sick. Don't call in sick. Show up to work. Get the money. Get the money. Who is that? When I see LAL like that, I think LA Lakers. So in my mind it says LA Laker J Jam. That's what I see right there. 3 old washed up amigos. Chief BD says I work remotely and no Zoom meeting till late afternoon, so I'm good to go. Right on. Good stuff. But yeah, welcome everybody. Captain Sicko, I'm gonna skip to the bottom. Captain Sicko, Jermaine Habib, skipping to the bottom. Dane Christopher, what is going on? And my main man, the big homies, Snuggles, is in the building. We got Snuggle. I'm gonna keep making fun of your name. I ain't gonna stop. I don't even want you to change it at this point. It's a permanent fixture on the show. But every time I say it, I will say it. I will be speaking in my regular voice when it comes time to say your name, Snuggles. But anyway, Snuggles668 in the building. He says, I am disappointed in you. I've been looking forward to my morning routine, and I have not been seeing you. You have let me down. I apologize, man. Hopefully it won't happen again. Hopefully things can stay afloat. Monday and Tuesday, that was out of my control. Monday and Tuesday, because I had equipment die on me, so I had to buy new equipment. Then had to troubleshoot and get everything working right with the new equipment. So Monday and Tuesday I couldn't control. Wednesday I got everything up. Thursday, that one was on me. I could have made things right on Thursday. I definitely could have, but I didn't for various reasons. But I'm back today, and I will be back tomorrow. We got 140 people in the building. Make sure you hit that like button on the way in. Those of you that just made it in, hit the like button. Especially those that make it in bright and early are normally the people who actually rock with the show. So the likes shouldn't be that much of a disparity on the likes this early on. It shouldn't be. Sam, I am in the building. Appreciate the super chat. Appreciate that. As we wait for Obsidian to come in here, it's funny. I want to talk about a recent interview I did with Soul Provider Speaks. I don't do a whole lot of, I barely just almost will never just hop on a panel, even though I did it recently with Pablo. He was doing a topic that was based off something that was happening on my show, so I wanted to jump up there and weigh in on it. But typically I don't just randomly hop on panels, but I do come by invite. Normally because I'm burnt out after I do my show. I just need to chill and rest. But if you formally invite me, I tend to show up and answer the call. So Soul Provider invited me in for an interview. So I did an interview over there, and he does his nerd pill thing, and I like it. I enjoy it. I'm a de facto closet nerd on some issues. I can get deep dive and dorky on some issues, but when I get around real nerds, they out nerd me real fast. I can't keep up. But he had asked me what was my favorite movie. Not favorite movie. Not what was my favorite movie. He said what was the last movie I watched, and I was embarrassed to say the last movie I watched was Toy Story 3. And I've talked about those Pixar movies before, those Disney Pixar movies, how they actually do a real good job. They make real good movies, and they're kind of for adults if you really look at the storyline and plot. But the reason I'm bringing that up, because a lot of you probably remember when I did a de facto quasi pseudo review of Soul. That was the Pixar movie they did about the brother who was a starving artist, struggling jazz musician, who found out later in the movie that his dad was also struggling, starving artist, jazz musician, and the mom, his mom, paid the bills. What I'm talking about, for the middle-aged man who was still a starving artist, jazz musician. She, his mama was, still helping him out on his bills and stuff. And she said that, and your daddy wasn't making the money going from gig to gig. She was like, my business is what was paying the bills around here. It was like, man, in the Disney Pixar movie, the brothers kind of got a crap taken on them a little bit, kind of a lot, but the funny thing about those movies, and I've been watching those movies since, because the reason I got into those movies, because my kids are right at the age where I was watching it with them. I was watching it with them. My kids are right at that age where I was watching those movies with them. So I kind of got, ingratiated into that whole, I don't know, they almost got like their own little MCU going on with those movies. But I started looking back at it, and I noticed all kind of stuff. Now that I'm looking back at it with what we would call, red pill goggles. Now I'm looking back at it, and they've been doing that. I see J.I. saying Pixar, he said, was throwing shade. Might be time to boycott. Yeah, they make great movies, though, man. It's like the NFL. Yeah, let's boycott, fist in the air. But then I need my football. Forget all that. The NBA went all kooky and crazy, went to bubble. But I need my basketball. But they've been doing weird stuff from the beginning, not just on that end, because this was the first one that they truly did a black movie. Well, it was about all kind of other stuff, but the black experience was part of it. And they did put a black director on the job to, I guess, the black writer and director. He co-wrote and co-directed it. So, I mean, let's say it'd be black people on those jobs when stuff be going awry like that. But that's a whole nother story. That's why I don't just blame the white man for it. Because, I mean, you look at who co-writing and directing some of that stuff. And even when black people produce it, sometimes it don't really be that much of a difference. But I went back and jogged through some of those movies, and I noticed that even in one of the Pixar movies, Brave, it was took place a long time ago, back in sort of magical, mystical time or whatever. The woman in that movie, the main character, basically, it was a tournament. Like, all the men of the village had to compete in some tournament to be the prince, because she was a princess. The men had to do some little tournament competing thing to whoever wins get to marry the princess and be the prince. But she put her foot down. I don't want to marry nobody. She's like, I'm entering the tournament. And so she entered the tournament herself and competed and won until she can marry herself. Like, that was the only Disney princess that didn't have a prince. So, I mean, they smuggling in the feminism. I wouldn't even say smuggling. That was pretty aggressive. They do stuff like that all the time. And one of the more recent ones they did, Coco, it was about a Mexican family. It was about a Mexican family where it was just very matriarchal. Even when there were men there, but the men got bossed around and bullied by the women. The women ran the house and ran the family. So they've been doing this stuff all the time. I just never noticed it. And even when Incredibles 2, where it was like a switch of roles, where Mr. Incredible had to stay home and Mrs. Incredible had to go to work. And when she went to work, because they was trying to reinstate the superhero program, but she went out and do the superhero work, but they wanted him to stay back for whatever reason. Probably because he'd be too heavy. But it was interesting because it sent the message that when she went out and did the job, she was kicking and taking names when she went out and essentially did his job. But when he stayed home and did her job, completely incompetent, didn't know how to help kids with the homework, didn't know how to screw the top on the bottle, the baby crawling out in the middle of the street while he passed out sleep. It was basically, it was sending the message that women can do whatever the men can do, but men, you guys can't handle our job and what we do. And like I had to go back and think about the plots of all those movies, and like, man, they've been going left, pun intended, for a while in those movies. I just never thought about it. So that was the genesis on how I ended up watching Toy Story 3. And then when Soul Provider asked me on the spot, what's the last movie you watched? And I was like, damn, why did you ask me that? Why did you ask me that? Now I don't lie. So I had to tell him. So yeah, so that was that. But shout out to Goodman in the building. He says, oh man, homeless GKO is definitely having red pill rage, and then the pink pill rage kicked in. Oh yeah. They raging. Let me shout out a few more super chats because Obsidian is actually in the building now. So let me shout out some super chats, and then we're going to get on with it. Number 016 in the building. He says, truth is like sunlight. Oh, I forgot I got a trick to where I don't have to squint as much. Truth is like sunlight. These blood suckers. Get out of there. And KS is Van Helsing in this B. Shout out to you. And we also got somebody came through. Oh, my man, Black Wolf Inc. in the building. Black Wolf Inc. is in the building. He says, let's go. Shazam, batches. Shazam. Captain, I'm putting this on the wood, coming soon. How David Johnson stole wrenches, and hold on, I can't even see that because something is blocking it. Hold on, let me fix that. How David Johnson stole wrenches, and David the Flash Johnson put it on the wood. I don't know what you're talking about. David Johnson stole wrenches. But shout out to you. Darth Slothy says She-Ra 7 looks like she can suck the butter out of a peanut. Interesting. BWR always raging this par for the course. Yeah. With all the brothers that get accused of red pill raging, it is hilarious watching them go through it, but many of them have always been going through it. We just never identified and called it out like that. But that's how I called it. But Obsidian may have a different take on the whole matter. And we are joined by the one and only Mumia Obsidian Ali. Welcome to the show. What's going on?
Hey, what's up, Bernard? Glad that you're back on the air, and we'll talk behind the scenes about all the.
Oh yeah.
But
I've heard that. Yeah, I mean, you text me about it, but I've heard people saying that you shouldn't use a laptop. But ever since I started doing this, I had a laptop and it was working just fine, and then the hard drive just died. It was an older laptop that was working just fine, so I figured I'd just replace it with a new laptop, and everything should flow well. But we'll talk about it. We'll get down to the bottom of what I really need to make things go right. But
yeah. But yeah, just as a quick aside, I don't know if you last time we talked a little bit about the Disney Star Wars show, The Mandalorian.
Oh yeah, I did finish watching that. Real good, loved it.
Yeah, and there's been a lot said about pop culture and Disney in particular, and the whole SJW infusion of it, and so and much of it very accurate. But you have to give credit where credit is due. We got to give a big, we owe a debt of gratitude to John Favreau, who was the director of the very first Iron Man, and like 13 years ago, and that spawned the Marvel Cinematic Universe. He's doing it again with the Mandalorian, spawning an extended, Star Wars universe. They got a whole slate of shows that will be, either based on the Mandalorian, either directly or indirectly. And Jon Favreau deserves a lot of credit because, you know, I've told a lot of brothers as an aside on my show and offline, The Mandalorian is actually a very red pill show when you think about it. And now that the second season finale has gone down, and we can talk about it a little bit now, everybody has a chance to see it. For those that are into Star Wars lore, you know that Din Djarin, the Mandalorian, also known as Mando, now has the much coveted dark saber, which means he is the leader of the Mandalorian people now. He won it in combat, fair and square, against Moff Gideon. Bo-Katan had it, lost it somehow to Moff Gideon, and Mando got it from him. So in order for Bo-Katan of House Kryze, Clan Kryze they call it, in order for her to regain it, she has to beat Mando in order to do it. And that sets the stage for, you know, season 3 of The Mandalorian. You have this reluctant hero now who is the leader of the Mandalorian people. And, you know, I said before that The Mandalorian, I love how Favreau weaved this in. Very ingenious how he did it. The Mandalorian is really, at least the first 2 seasons, is, I call it, you know, the courtship of Eddie's father in space, because that's really what it is. It's a meditation on fatherhood. And in particular, being a single father, because Mandalorian is de facto single father to Grogu, Baby Yoda, you know. And at a time where, you know, let me just be honest, you know, baby mamaism is, you know, the default setting of family formation in America today. But the United States leads the country in leads the world, rather, leads the world in baby mamas. The Mandalorian is very subversive to introduce that type of line for 2 seasons straight. And so I say to the brothers in the Black manosphere, we need to get behind. Anytime we see a man going out on a limb the way Jon Favreau did to push a pro-male line, the way he did in mass media, we got to get behind that. And the other thing I would say too, as we go into this topic, because it's very much connected, Bernard, is that we men in general, Black men in particular, we got to get a lot more savvy about the media game, the social media game, movies, TV, you know, to a lesser extent, but still very relevant, print, literary. You know, we got to get real savvy about that. Even if you are just a layman. And I agree with the one brother, Soul Provider. He made a very good point, and I agree with him. That what makes the Black manosphere unique is that the commenters are as important as the content creators. That can be a good thing or a bad thing. It's completely up to us. I prefer to see it, because I'm an optimist, I prefer to see it as a good thing. The commenters can actually be force multipliers of what the content creators do. But in order to do that, just like the content creators got to step their game up, the commenters have to step up theirs as well. So this is where you step your game up, educating yourself about the social media game as a layman, as a commenter, educating yourself about it. How does YouTube work? How does Facebook work? How does Instagram work? How can I help the people that I support get forward? Well, one thing that Black men have to do in the Black manosphere, we got to get out of our apathy. There are voices in the Black manosphere, and I see her in the chat room, so she's part of what we're going to be talking about today, Miss Jessica X. There are voices in the Black manosphere that will say this. Words to this effect. People like Jessica X should not be in the Black manosphere or part of it because they suck all the air out of the room. And let's just be honest about it. Money, views, and so forth. My response to that is this. Well, let's assume that's true. What are you doing insofar as that is concerned? In other words, if people like Jessica X are able to move into the space and do thus and so, okay, fine. So what are you doing to offset it? Are you making better content? Are you actively and aggressively promoting the content creators? Are you funding them? I mean, exactly what are you doing to offset it? See, I think the problem that some denizens of the Black manosphere have is that they're a lot more apathetic than they're willing to admit. Black women are much more engaged on social media. That's just the plain truth. They are. They're more engaged on every social media platform over Black men. But here's the problem. Or here's not a problem, excuse me, scratch that. Here's the thing about that. That's not something that's intrinsic, nor is it something that's static. In other words, Black women don't have any special, secret sauce that they use that Black men can't use, nor is it guaranteed that it will always be that way. Black men can change this anytime they get ready. They have 10 fingers, just like Black women do. They have smartphones, just like Black women do. They got 24 hours in a day, 7 days in a week, 30 days in a month, just like Black women do. They use the same platforms. They just don't maximize and use it to the same degree that Black women do. In other words, the Black men who are talking these things, who are saying these things, I'm not talking about all Black men. I'm speaking about the loudest voices in the room on this particular point. Those brothers are in a position to do something about it. They can do something about it today. They can promote, like, share, subscribe to shows they support. They can support them monetarily, and so on. If a brother thinks that he doesn't like, I'm going to use her name again, just sake of argument. So I don't like Jessica coming to the space. I'm like, okay, you go ahead and put out a shingle, make a channel, get you a microphone, do your thing. The period that we're in now, Bernard, and people have been using this term, the Great Reset, and I would like to take it in a slightly different direction. I call it the Great Recalibration. What's going on Black social media, the Black manosphere in particular.
All right, you said the Great Recalibration. Hold your thought on that, because I do want to hear the distinction between Great Reset and Great Recalibration. But I got a lot of super chats that came in. I don't want to get behind on them. Appreciate everybody who come in and support the show early on. Obsidian was just talking about that, and hey, y'all are coming through hard and heavy this morning. I appreciate it. He said, Black Wolf Inc. came back through with another one, said the good brothers of Effery are reunited. Obsidian, please say Trick better have my money or put it on the wood or Shazam, bitches, Shazam. You got me cussing. I'm trying not to cuss. He says this way. All right. Hold up. See, they went away. Hold on. Now I'm gonna get them. I will find them. They went away. Mr. Shane Vicious in the building. He says, help us, Dave Filoni. Let me make that bigger so I can see it. Dave Filoni, you're our only hope. Thank you for that, Mr. Shane Vicious. Appreciate it. David Johnson in the building says, Bernard, I've been showing Black Wolf how to get wrenches by putting it on the wood. Shazam, bitches. All right. David Johnson, I got your email reply, man. We're making that happen. I'm gonna spam your email in a few days if we don't get a date together. Black Wolf in the building once again. Black Wolf is in the building. Says also Ashaka will use the veil of the Force to remove the sequel. Okay, yeah, those sequels, yeah. Oh man, look up the veil of the Force for a topic on how we can fix our situation. Yeah, those sequels. We'll probably talk about that at a later date. Speaking of Star Wars, because I do like what the Mando did, and Mark Hamill had mentioned something. I don't want to give away too much, but Obsidian, I don't know. I don't even think you watched The Last Jedi.
Yeah, I've seen all three of them.
Okay, not The Last Jedi.
You mean Return to Skywalker?
No, not Rise of Skywalker was the last one they did. Last Jedi, that was the one where with yeah. So if you follow if you look at what happened and how the Mandalorian ended and who Grogu went with, and then you look at what happened to Luke's the Jedi training class. It basically Mark Hamill pointed out that that Grogu would have been would based off if he said if we don't eliminate the sequels and write them out of the canon, then we gotta conceptualize Grogu being sliced up by Kylo Ren. Just that was what Luke Skywalker, Mark Hamill said, and I was just like, yeah, they gotta write those out. They
not
gotta
necessarily though.
I know, but I'm just saying that's
the reason why I say not necessarily is because of the timeline. So the Mandalorian takes place roughly 5 years after the Battle of Endor. That would have been in Star Wars: Return of the Jedi. Right? So it takes place 5 years after that. The events that are depicted in
The Last Jedi episode.
Those events take place, and remember that was after The Force Awakens. So The Force Awakens takes place roughly 30 years after the Battle of Endor.
Yeah, but Grogu still would have been a small, slow age. He would have probably been a kid still training.
Well, that's just it. I mean, we don't know that. I mean, he could have left the order again. So we don't really know exactly what happened in that 25 roughly year gap between the events of the second season finale of The Mandalorian and then the events opening up in The Force Awakens and then going into The Last Jedi. So we got like 25 years, about, if my math is right, we got about 25 years or so in which a lot can happen. So we don't know for certain.
I know.
That Grogu would have been sliced up.
Yeah, just in my mind, I'm like, yeah, Grogu went with, okay, I'll go. Well, I don't want to spoil it, but you saw how The Mandalorian ended, but I was like, yeah, Grogu went with who he went with at the end of that, and I was like, that's perfect. So I just was imagining them together and him being trained by said Jedi and how awesome that would have been. And then I said, oh dang, that potentially could have ended bad for Grogu.
I will say this though, that the way that Favreau and Filoni, got to give him a shout out to David Filoni, who was, his claim to fame was, being the leader of the creative team behind the Clone Wars animated series. I will say this: the way that they set up that last maybe 5 minutes or less featuring the return of Luke Skywalker, that in my opinion, it would not surprise me if we see a Luke Skywalker, at the very least, miniseries.
Yeah, I'm hoping for that. And what I'm definitely hoping for, before I get back to you super chats and then pass it back to you talking about the great recalibration, what I'm hoping for is they do a miniseries. I was hoping for a movie, but now I would just rather see a miniseries on Darth Vader, everything that took place between Revenge of the Sith and A New Hope. Just they can make that 5 seasons if they want to. They could do a lot with that. I'm just thinking about the end of Rogue One on how Darth Vader was slicing everybody up. We need more of that. We need a whole.
Well, it's very great since you mentioned it. That's the so everybody's seen Rogue One and the big made the movie is Darth Vader in the epic the hallway massacre scene. So what they did in the Mando is that Luke Skywalker mirrors that going up against the dark troopers, which are essentially big robots. So he's slicing and dicing them going down the hallway, and it's meant to convey the fact that Luke Skywalker is very much Darth Vader's son. They have the exact same fighting style going down the hallway, the exact same thing. You know what I mean? That was the whole point. I thought that was a very nice touch the way that they did that.
Yeah, that was. I didn't want to spoil that part. Somebody spoiled that part for me, and that Luke Skywalker showed up at the end of Mandalorian, and so, but yeah, that was an amazing scene. They definitely killed it. They knocked it out the park on that one. But Black Man Renaissance in the building. He said, shout out to Bernard Riley and the old man, two very well needed brothers in this much needed space. Thank you and appreciate that. We got Gary Deemer, my most recent well, no, I think you pulled. I think you became a Patreon. I'm not 100% sure, but shout out to you either way because you can support in the show. He said, shout out to Bernard and Obsidian, salute and respect for this needed content this morning. Appreciate it. We got my man Nick Penn in the building, even though it disappeared right when I got ready to click on it. Nick Penn in the building. Shout out to you. There we go. Nick Penn in the building. He says time to recalibrate. Shout out to Nick Penn. Always support. Also, shout out to Mayonnaise 2G. Mayonnaise 2G. Shout out to you. Black Wolf back at it again. He says Star Wars Rebel, a world between worlds. That is the hit. That is the hit to how they can do it. And trust me, it can work perfectly. Disney wants the sequels gone now. Huh. Yeah. Hope if they figure out a way to get rid of them. I just, man, we're not going to talk about it because we already Star Wars yell out a little bit. But the Rise of Skywalker, that was a bad one. I can live with Force Awakens and The Last Jedi, but Rise of Skywalker, that one was just bad. That one was bad. But Lord Honesty says, I try to support the manosphere, but I work like a lot. I'm driving my semi as I type this. Hey, be careful typing on the road 15, 16 hours a day. Otherwise, I'm asleep. Hey, right on, man. Salute to you. Appreciate your support. And also shout out to you. Like I said, the manosphere is just crawling with truckers. Like, I mean, man, truckers, people picking up skilled trades, people getting a CDL, all of that, man. I love it. Love to see brothers out there getting it in. Need to do more content on how to own the trucks that you're driving and have a fleet. Shout out to MOT on that. Lloyd Vaughn in the building. He says, stay blessed to you and the O1. Shout out to you. Appreciate that. And that rounds out the super chats. Sorry, had to take a break in the action to the super chats and we start talking about all kind of other stuff. Hopefully Obsidian held his thought. He says, I keep getting blocked from the channels Lord Honesty says, keep getting blocked from the channels whose team I'm on, though. Laughing. LOL. I think I'm too word radical. I just be talking though. Moderators, one thing I did, I went to my block list and I unblocked a lot of people because there was so many people on there that was blocked that I don't even remember how they got blocked. So we might get a troll or two pop up. I'd rather you time them out time them out to infinity and beyond, and then I'll see it, and then I can make the call. Rather not they get blocked. I don't want y'all blocking people unless they just came in strictly to threaten the channel with putting, the words that you can't put in. But if it's slip, a lot of people don't know YouTube Brewer, so be conscious of that he probably just cussing you out because he wanted to cuss you out. He probably don't understand that there's certain things that you just can't say. So just go with a timeout, not a block. But I think we can have some wisdom and understand those that are literally just trying to hurt the channel with their words and their trolling. But number 016, he said they should do sequels. They should do the sequels like they did Dallas. Make it a dream of Luke Skywalker and Captain Sicko. Does Obsidian watch Cobra Kai? Answer that one really quick, and then we're going to start talking about that great recalibration that you mentioned.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Yeah, I don't do that. I don't do that either. I don't do that. But all right, go ahead, old man. You got shout out to Lionel in the building. Crypto creeping back up. It's creeping back up. But shout out to Lionel. Go ahead, old man. You got it.
Yeah. So, and I see Jessica X is in the chat room. Please check your email, Jessica. I sent you something. But yeah. So the events of last year have kind of recalibrated everything. People are referring to it as a great reset. I would like to make a distinction between that and what's occurring in Black social media. It's gone beyond the Black manosphere. It really has gone beyond Black social media, but I want to keep it focused on us. And I refer to it as the great recalibration. Obviously, I'm referring to Kevin Samuels. I call him St. Kevin. And I think rightly so. I think we needed something to break the logjam, something to break the Mexican standoff, something to get us out of this perpetual loop of essentially a stalled out, or maybe a better way to put it is a kind of conversation that's kind of circular that goes on, and it's led and driven primarily by Black women. And even the Black manosphere itself, in a real sense, has been kind of playing defense.
Mm-hmm.
And we've done a pretty good job of it. We're our Sarisu game ain't on the level of Obi-Wan Kenobi's, but it's pretty damn good. And but what Kevin has done is given us the opportunity to use the Star Wars, lightsaber form terminology. What Kevin has done is given us an opening to go on offense. So we can switch from Obi-Wan Kenobi's style of Sarisu to Anakin Skywalker's style of Jim So. We can now, take an opening and immediately go on offense. And I think that we have to take advantage of that. And the way to take advantage of it is by pushing the conversation forward and taking control of where it goes from here. Up until now, over the past decade, in particular, on social media. So we're talking about YouTube, Facebook, and those, Twitter. Black women have been able, and when I say black women, I'm not saying all black women here. I'm talking about the loudest voices in the room. We're going to talk about that more in a moment. The loudest voices in the room have been able to craft and then promulgate the various talking points and positions and keep them out in the ether for 10 years straight. And the Black Manosphere came along during that time and has defended against them to varying degrees of effectiveness. What Kevin has done is broken that and given us an opportunity now to set the stage to go on the offense. So my thinking is, number one, we have to consider what we're up against now. By now, everybody knows what's going on with Kevin. He's facing, my understanding is at least 2 potential lawsuits. I'm not going to go into the weeds with that. You all heard about it. But there's also something else, that aside, there's also something else that not only just Kevin, but all of us are kind of facing. I'm glad we kind of doing this in the context of a Star Wars discussion, because in a very real sense, we're kind of like the Rebel Alliance. In a very real sense, there's if you watch the Star Wars movies, a big part of them, especially Rogue One, I was really jacked to see the very beginnings of the Rebel Alliance, taking on the Empire and trying to get the plans to the Death Star in the Battle of Scarif. That's really where we're at with this. Kevin has kind of punched a hole through the Empire's defenses and has given us a chance to really, go right behind them, just like Rogue One, gold team, red team, blue team, black team, form up. And we really have to take advantage of that. What's going on the other side, and I don't want to go too deep into the weeds with this because I don't want to bore anybody with details, but the R&D team here at Obsidian Radio has been doing some numbers crunching behind the scenes. I'll just put it that way. We have definitive proof, facts, not opinion, empirical data, because you know how we get down here at Obsidian Central. We roll with data. We have data that proves that Crystalline Karazhan, I'm going to say the names, Crystalline Karazhan, Tanya TKO, Cynthia G, Shira 7-1, and to a certain extent, even Chrissy, are not only on code, they actively work together, and they are actively attempting to discredit Kevin, regain market share, and by extension, attempt to either discredit or dismantle the Black Manosphere. Now, this is where Jessica X comes in. One moment. Because as I was saying earlier, there are voices in the Black Manosphere who argue that there is no place for Black women in the Black Manosphere. I would like to respectfully disagree with that proposition. Just like the Rebel Alliance had women playing very prominent roles in their effort against the Empire, the Black Manosphere will need Black women in the fight. They're going to need it. And here's the reason why. Because the opposition is already attempting to frame the Black manosphere response as illegitimate on the grounds that real Black men don't argue with Black women. Now, of course, this is a bogus argument. Of course,
right.
Bogus argument. But see, here's the problem. Even though it's a bogus argument, it will be an effective one if we do not have Black women taking up the fight on our side. Because it's not about the facts. It's about the optics. It's about the social media game. We need Black women on our side fighting for us. And let me be clear about this. And what I'm about to say right now is going to unnerve some people. But it needs to be said. I talked about this before in public, so I'm not saying anything that's privileged information. We need to take a page out of Roger Ailes' book. Roger Ailes was the brainchild behind Fox News. Yes, Roger Ailes had his own personal demons. That's not the point. The point was he was able to utilize what men want, in this case, white men in flyover country wanted to see and put across the conservative agenda effectively, using the medium of television and using hot chicks to do it. The Black manosphere needs hot, talented chicks.
I'm glad you said talented. That's important. That's important.
Yeah, we need hot, talented chicks to put across our talking points. They can't just be talented alone. They have to be hot. That is what will effectively neutralize the opposition. And we need more of it. It can't just be one or two. We need at least a half a dozen. At least. If not more than that. That will not only effectively neutralize the opposition, but it will also expand the footprint. Here again, we go back to Kevin. There is a vicious fight with the opposition that I named previously. And now Kevin's not fighting them, but they're fighting him. And the reason why is because of market share. Kevin has effectively made a clear line in the sand between those Black women who do want a man and those Black women who really don't. Since we're talking about ABC and Disney, there's a very interesting show that's going on in real time right now called The Bachelor. And this season is a historic one because in its 25 season history, they've never had a Black Bachelor before. This is the first time they've ever had a Black Bachelor. So I've been just kind of, a fly on the wall, just, laying in the cut and just observing what's going on, the scuttlebutt. And it was brought to my attention that over on Lipstick Alley, which is a very prominent website for Black women, it's on par with the Shade Room in terms of gossip. They had last time I checked, almost 200-page discussion, not just about the Black Bachelor, but ready for this, Bernard? Kevin Samuel's name came up prominently. Say, okay, just no surprise there. But so did my name and your name and O'Shea Duke Jackson's name. A lot of different brothers' names from the Black manosphere came up.
You said that was on Lipstick Alley?
Yes. Now,
hold on, real quick before you go. What all is their footprint? They got YouTube, Facebook. I mean, what are they? What's their social media total footprint looking like?
They're primarily a website that's like a message board.
Okay.
Primarily, and it's very interesting to read. Again, this is last time I checked. Upwards of 200 pages.
Mm-hmm.
The discussion started out this way. What did the sisters, black women, think about The Bachelor? Now, remember, the premise of the show of The Bachelor is that you have a very eligible bachelor, and then you have, over 30 women vying for him, right? To be the missus. That's a very verboten idea among black women. See, in the minds of black women, no man is worth or worthy of competing for. Now, black women don't say it that explicitly. Black women just don't come out outright and just say that. But yeah, that's what it amounts to. And the reason why I'm referencing The Bachelor and referencing Lipstick Alley is because that is the kind of what's the word is just because I had a tip on my tongue. That's kind of like the zeitgeist of black women. It's kind of like the public mind of black women in a very real sense. They when they talked about Matt James, they have a problem with how he looked.
Really? This is a Bachelor?
Yes.
They had a problem with how he looked?
Yes. There was a problem with Kevin, obviously. There was a problem with me, you, O'Shea, CJ King, Kevin Kelly. All of our names came up. Every black man that came that would be, in other words, all these high, and Cynthia G made an interesting statement recently when she said, in her mind, there's no such thing as a high value black man. She's not speaking on. We got to remember, just one channel alone, she's has upwards of 50,000 subscribers. She's has several channels. One of them alone is 50,000 subscribers.
Yeah.
She's not speaking just for herself. As a matter of fact, if you go and add up Cynthia G, Tanya TKO, Shira7, Crystalline Carrison, and Chrissy's channels, YouTube channels, subscriber counts, one channel apiece. If you add them all up, it comes out to almost 700,000 subscribers.
Yeah.
That is a major constituency combined. And right now, Kevin is over 300,000 at present. So you're looking at, he's got roughly half of what they have. And they're very concerned because he got that roughly half in a very short period of time. And projections are he'll break up 500,000 easily before mid-year. So
if he get a few more viral bumps, he'll probably hit 1 million by this year, because he go viral, that bumps him up 100,000 like that. Right. So yeah, a few more viral bumps, he'll probably, yeah, I predicted he'll hit 1 million. I don't know. That's just my outside projection. I don't know for sure. But shout out to Kenny Conjo. He sent a Cash App as well. He says, Friday greetings, bro. I hit you up on the Cash App. Oh, yeah, he said it right there. Make a shout out to the old man, Jessica X, and the supporters. Have a good weekend. Counselor Murray, email me, man. We got to get another one going. Counselor Murray. We was talking about it. We fell off. I think you said you was busy. Understand, but yeah, when you get time, we got to get another one in. Infinity MFG says, greetings, great shows. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. My man David Johnson in the building. He says the Manosphere is the last line of defense. Absolutely. Counselor Murray back at it. He says, yeah, that's what I wanted to get to. He said, I saw Coach Greg Adams on World Star. Didn't know about that. Shout out to him. Good stuff. I like it. He says Manosphere going prime time. Absolutely. We got Jazz Jackson says, great Star Wars analogy, explains the situation perfectly. We also got a lot of you came through. I apologize if I missed any of them. Obsidian giving slow cooking right now, man. He's building up. He's letting it simmer up. I didn't want to interrupt the flow. But Black Wolf Inc. in the building. He says, to put old man's argument to perspective, when was the last time a man asked Obsidian to cam up? Jessica X is our secret weapon as we speak. Need more.
Yeah. So
let me get a few more. In. Mr. Shane Vicious says Lipstick Alley is a black woman version of Stormfront. Wow. John H in the building. Greetings. Thanks for having the old man on. Yeah, welcome back, John H. I don't remember what you did to get on my block list. I don't know if you were there fairly or unfairly, or if I did it or if somebody else did it. I don't know how or why you were there. I don't remember, but welcome back. If I forget the reason why you were there, then hey, must not have been a good reason. So I was just flipping through my block list and I saw you there and I unblocked you. I don't know why you were there, but welcome back either way. I think that's it. I saw a few more people. They might be lost and gone forever. A young lady by the name of Trina B, I believe, sent a super chat, and it was they lost and gone forever. So I can't even highlight them, can't even read them. The chat was moving fast, so I apologize to the people that I couldn't properly shout out, but I appreciate your support. Corner Store Podcast. That was one more that I remembered sent to Super Chat. Corner Store Podcast. Shout out to you. And there's that. All right, go ahead, old man. You got it.
Yeah. So and I'm listening to some brothers in the chat room, pointing out that there's overlap between the opposition subscribers and so forth. We get all that.
Yeah.
It's not a perfect measure. It's a baseline. I'm suggesting that what we're seeing is, I don't really think that, because the argument has been put forth, particularly with Karazin, that she was attempting to gain market share from Kevin. I don't think that's what happened. I think what happened was there were already black women that were very angry with Kevin to begin with. We know in talk radio what's known as the Howard Stern rule. We know that there are people who can't stand your guts who will religiously tune into you. They'll be your biggest supporter. They'll support you more in terms of just straight listening than your more staunch supporters, because they just want to tune in just so they can hate you.
Mm-hmm.
I think what happened
with Jessica X, I was looking at her video yesterday. It was like 430 likes and 170 dislikes, but still a consistent 900 live viewers. So right. Yeah, she got a strong hate watch following who go there just to watch and hate. So I just wanted to throw that out there. So yeah, you're right on that.
And I think what Karazin and others have done, and again, we have the all the stuff in the R&D department here at Obsidian Central, is that they've been peeling off, for lack of a better way of putting this, the haters of Kevin. The black women that love to hate watch him or whatever, they get so fed up and they decide to go over to the side of Crystalline and so forth, which I think is a good thing. I think it's a good thing if that happens and it continues to occur. And here's the reason why. I think, again, Kevin has raised the bar. He's up the ante. His position is, I can get results for the ladies that you ladies cannot.
Mm-hmm.
In the last 7 months that he's been in operation in this regard, 8 couples have gotten together under his aegis, 3 of them engaged, 1 of them on New Year's Eve. So Kevin 8, the axis of BFFery 0. Or put another way, Kevin 8 and the Black Love Machine 0. Or put another way, Kevin 8, Derek Jackson 0. In 2021, we have to really press that point. All right, we've heard the presentations, we know the talking points, we get all that. Are you married? Are you engaged? Did you meet your man because of Tanya TKO or Cynthia G or Crystalline Karazin, with pictures, with testimonials, because that's what Kevin's does. He's got pictures and testimonials. Can your program produce? I mean, this is all about level up, She-Ra 7, all the rest of it. Okay, great. Got it. Can your program actually get results for all of these black women? Because Kevin's program is actually getting results. 8 couples, 7 months, 3 engagements, 1 on New Year's Eve. What do you guys got? And many of you have been around for more than a decade. In all that time, How many black women have you gotten in the case of Crystal and Carson? Okay, Crystal. How many black women have actually met their Brad as a direct result of you, who have come forward and actually thanked you in public with pictures and video in 11 years? How many? In the past 6 months, 8 months, 7 months? How many? That is something that Kevin is really hammering on, and I think we all need to follow his lead on. We have to move to see what black women want to do. And again, you listen to this axis, I call it the axis of BFFery. If you listen to them, they're continuing to run the same play. Dusty this, dusty that, dusty, dusty, dusty. We get it. There are brothers out there that are dusty. Fair enough. What have you done to get the ladies in your charge married off, be it white guys, black guys, whatever? Where are they? And how can we independently verify it? Where are the testimonials? Where are the pictures? Where are the videos? Where are they? We're asking for performance metrics now. We're not asking for, references to YouTube channels nobody even heard of before. We're not asking for, for upcoming documentaries that you're trying to raise money on, go get or go fund me for. We're not talking about all this other stuff, the statistics from the Pew Research Center. We're saying with your brand, whatever that brand may be, Tanya TKO Self-Love, Crystal Karen's is the Pink Pill, etc., etc., etc. Whatever that program is, where is the evidence that black women met their man there because of you? Where's the evidence? We can look at Kevin and see the evidence. We have to keep hammering that point. And what I've noticed is that the opposition keeps, right now they're hammering 2 points. One is Dusty, Dusty, Dusty. The other is Jessica X, Jessica X, Jessica X. And neither really gets to the point. Well, I mean, this man Kevin is getting, people are meeting and getting together as a result of him. Engagements are happening with pictures. And I see one sister in the chat room right now. I am Aries bitch. She was over on Zero 7's live last night. I've seen her all over there. So you have to ask a question. Queen Aries, why do you keep coming back here? What does your husband think about that? What does your husband think about you, bouncing back and forth, spending your days on social media? What does he think about that? So we have to keep the heat on this point. And the reason why they're going after Jessica X is because she's highly effective. And we need about a half a dozen more of her at least. We need it. Because the argument's going to be, we shouldn't, no real man wants to be, or should be arguing with a black woman. See, they want the right to be able to say whatever they want about black men. They want that right to be able to do that. But then they'll hide behind gender when you do a response. The appropriate response to that is people like Jessica X, Danica Marie. We need a whole bunch more of those.
Real quick, I don't want to interrupt you right now because you're cooking. Ty City, get out of there. Get all the way out of you. I mean, you. I ain't even about to address Ty City. Ty City be on some bull. But shout out to David Johnson. He says what old man is basically talking about is not us breaking any of our standards and principles, but yet evolving and expanding. I know some super chats probably got away, but I'm going to try to get to as many of them as I can. Going to try to get to as many of them as I can. Mr. Shane Fitch is in the building. He says the Daggle want to hate. Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, they want to hate screw Kevin Samuels. I feel the same about Ann Coulter. Yeah, I feel that way about Ann Coulter. No, not she.
Ann Coulter was perfect for the conservative movement.
She was.
She's hot and talented.
Yeah.
Got long legs, brown hair, and irascible. Perfect.
And it goes back to what you said about talented. She was real good at arguing their points. I remember she tore Mark Lamont Hill to shreds. Yep. Yeah, she was good. She was talented. So there's that. L Nixon in the building with the super chat. He says, I did some late night recon and they're really trying to shut people down, not even hiding it. Even saw brother Jerome Whiteside. So are you serious? Supporting like monetarily? Like sending a super chat?
That doesn't surprise me. And I'll explain why after I get this this statement. The brother in the chat room made the statement. I didn't think the manosphere was about relationships. Brother, life is about relationships. The black manosphere is all about relationships. Life is about relationships. That's what life is all about. That's what life is all about, man. And what we're seeing here with what you just read, it doesn't surprise me because water is seeking its own level. See, that's what's happening now.
Let me, I want to try to put a finer point on what you said about relationships. The black manosphere is about patriarchy. Somebody called it the black church of patriarchy. So if we're talking about patriarchy, we are talking about relationships, but just relationships with men at the lead and at the head of it, and women in their place, to use that term. So in that sense, it is. But when we hear relationships, we're thinking about the lovey-dovey pander, or the pander fest of Derek Jackson and Steve Harvey. It's not about that. So that's why I don't even like to use the term relationships. But if we're talking about patriarchy, we are. I mean, if you're talking about patriarchy, you are essentially talking about that. But men in lead while dealing with women, put it like that. I'll say that much about that. A few more super chats. You can hold your thought on Jerome Whiteside. That's interesting. If he was sending Shira 7 money, he said some of these ladies need the. Let me make this bigger. Some of these ladies need the. What is it? Oh, the Benadryl, aka pink pill, so they can calm down. Oh, okay. Gotcha. Lord Honesty in the building. He says, yeah, in the new Tommy Sotomayor without the cooning and slander. I don't slander, I just roast them. Well done. Oh, I talk bad to him. Shout out to you. Thank you for the super chat. Appreciate that. Appreciate everybody else who super chatted, even those that I can't get to. Gary Deemer back in here again. Danica Marie and Jessica X do a good job of bringing content that make black women own their ish. Thank you for that. I think I already read that one by DeMac the Trucker. If I missed your super chat, I apologize. And real quick, before I pass it back to you, I just want to say one thing real quick about that real men don't argue with women. You know, I'm all about refuting bad arguments. I understand what you're saying the step is, you know, with Jessica S, Danica Marie, women. I understand what you're saying there, but I just want to just give just the formal, logical rebuttal to that. And it's very simple. The whole real men or men don't argue with women. Yes, that's true. In interpersonal relationships, I for damn sure don't argue with my woman. I mean, I give it 5 minutes for us to, understand what each other is saying. But at the end of the, I mean, it comes a point, maybe at about the 5 minute mark. This is what it is. I'm telling you what it is. You either accept what it is, or we're gonna go forward. I mean, or outcomes will be outcomes if you still got a problem. But so that's true. But when it comes to the whole social media game, as you alluded to, for them to try to apply how masculine patriarchal men operate in a relationship with a woman and try to convert that over to the whole social media game, the rhetorical war of ideas, that's a completely different thing. So, I mean, it's obviously, I mean, you said it's a fallacious argument for obvious reason. It's trying to quiet the other side in what amounts to a media war. It's a media war. It's a war of ideas. It's a war of words. It's rhetorical battle. It's intellectual discourse. So you can't use the rules of relationships to try to silence intellectual discourse from the other side. So that's just a flaw in the logic of what they're doing when they're doing it right there. I know you know that, but just for those that may not be as quick on the uptake, because I hear guys coming in here saying men shouldn't be arguing with women. Yeah, in your relationship, no, you shouldn't be going back and forth with a woman all night. You need to lay down the law, and it is what it is. Either accept it or don't accept it. But in the whole media war thing, it is a completely different animal. We saw what our silence in years past have done. Is gave them full creative control to create and write the narrative, and then now everybody just assumes that they're right. Even as I always point out, that even the president of the United States, when he described the black community, he echoed their exact talking points word for word and basically took a crap on black men. So black men not saying anything didn't get us anywhere. So black men saying their side of it, that matters, and we shouldn't shut up. And if that means intellectual discourse and on public in public media platforms, rather it's social media or wherever, that's a good thing. That's a good thing. So we cannot shy away from that. We cannot fall for that another phase 731B of just shut up arguments. But anyway, I just wanted to throw that out there. But I'm passing it back to you. A few more people came through with super chats. I just shout out your name real shit quick. Silent Lamont in the building. He said Bernard is Benny from Harlem. Oh yeah, Benny's name. I couldn't remember his name, but I've been calling myself that. Absolutely. Yeah, I do. I need glasses, but I refuse to get them. Bernard Snake Eyes Riley. I can call the dice before they done rolling. All right, L. Nixon. He says, if you notice, Brother Whiteside has been missing in action. It stems from his issues with Jessica and Fantastic defending her. He wasn't super chatting when I went there. He never super chats. He only got a wrench over here because one time I put wrenches up for sale, which was a bad idea, and he bought one. So there's that. So yeah, I may be giving him his Patreon money back. I don't know. But anyway, go ahead, old man. You got it.
Well, yeah, to follow up on what you just talked about, water is seeking its own level. And that's what we need. For a long time now, and I don't think this was necessarily an organized effort on the part of the black women we're talking about, the type, but it worked out to their advantage. We've never gotten, there's a figure in politics named Karl Rove, right? And Karl Rove was a political strategist under George W. Bush, Bush 43, Bush Jr., Bush the Younger. And he was referred to as Bush's brain because he masterminded the political campaigns of both 2000 and 2004. And his big secret, him and another individual by the name of Frank Luntz, Luntz. What both of them found is by using high-tech data, they were able to micro-target those people likely to vote Republican and then by extension vote Bush. My point is, over all these years, we've never been precise in who we're talking about. And that's not by accident, because a lot of black women don't want precision. For example, let's go back to my example with The Bachelor. So by every measure, this is a high value man, by every conceivable measure. But in the eyes of black women, he's flawed. The discussion on Lipstick Alley, and in a way, it was kind of like scary. And mind you, this is nearly 200 pages. My name, your name, Kevin's name, O'Shea's name, and others, CJ King, Kevin Kelly, all our names came up. All of us were wanting. All of us, without exception. What was interesting and scary about the discussion is that those talking points are exactly the same thing that Cynthia G talks about. See, in the minds of a lot of black women that we're talking about, all black men are suspect because they didn't beat up the white man. They didn't beat up the white man, take over his government, and run things top down. Anything failing that, and the collective of black men ain't worth sugar honey iced tea. Now, obviously, that's a ridiculous argument, but that is what a lot of black women believe. Now, here's the real deal. The real truth is, and you said this before, Bernard. As a matter of fact, you made this point very well in your classic debate with the Breakdown crew. Is these black women never wanted to submit to no black man, no way. They just wanted a way to, some plausible deniability. That's really what this comes down to. They ain't trying to submit to nobody. They ain't trying to compete for nobody. That's really what it is. But they can't just come out and say that. For example, how would a black woman look saying, "This shit, I ain't competing for Matt James. Who the hell you think he is?" How do you think that would scan in the world to everybody else? You got all these white women vying for this man. And here's this. And by the way, if you watch The Bachelor, you can watch it on Hulu. If you watch The Bachelor, the second episode, there's a sister in there who's a runway model. So she's basically, he's like 6'5", and she with heels is almost his height, right? And she's, got the shade, big chop, and she's like just laying in the cut. All the other white women are just falling over themselves trying to get to this guy. She's got like a, devil may care attitude. I mean, if we get together, great. And we don't, great. That is prototypical of the black female position. That no matter what the brother is doing, he ain't worth competing for. In the eyes of black women, they are the prize. And it's interesting that you mentioned that, I don't know if it was Pixar or Disney animated thing. Where the sister was like, where the sister was like, I'm going to compete against all these dudes. And then she beats all of them. See, that's the way a lot of black women think. But in the minds of black women, no brother is worthy of being competed for. That in the minds of black women, they are the prize that all men have to compete for. And that really explains a lot when you sit down and think about it. That explains a lot. We saw this with CJ King. Over 20,000 irate comments from black women on Instagram behind what he said. Let's look at the situation with Kevin Samuels. He's staring down at least 2 lawsuits. Have no idea how it's going to work itself out. I'm not a lawyer. But we do know there are 2 lawsuits. I mean, this is the progression. This is the mindset of a significant portion of black women, as expressed in real time, online, on YouTube, on Lipstick Alley, on Facebook. Matter of fact, there was just a discussion. I'm not going to say where on Facebook. There was just a discussion on Facebook earlier this week where a brother asked the sisters, under what circumstances will you compete for a high-value black man? The sister said none. None.
Please tell me he followed up and said, by what circumstances would you compete for a high-value white man? Please tell me he asked that follow-up question.
Well, no, he didn't. This was an all-black discussion.
Yeah, but if he just would have asked that question, she would she would have fumbled and stuttered all over the place had he asked that question. But anyway, go ahead.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is this. Kevin, and we don't know the end story yet, the final chapter that hasn't been written on his going viral. We don't know. Like you said, he could very well go viral again. We don't know. But what we do know right now is he's effectively separating the black women who do want to compete for a high value man, whatever that number may be, and the black women who don't, of which they are legion. And we need to exploit that separation. We need to exploit it. Because the black women who made it clear they're not going to compete under no circumstances, the question then has to be, okay, so what's your plan for the rest of your life? I mean, you're going to be here making angry videos responding to whoever the next Kevin Samuels is? Is that the plan? Life moves on, Eventually, you are going to die. What he says about dying alone is a very real thing. What's the plan for the rest of your life? If no black man is worthy, then what's the plan for the rest of your life?
Indigenous TV in the building with the super chat. He says, "What up? What's up to you? What's up to you?" And we got Real Brother Radio in the building with a super chat. He says, "So what, Sweet Pea? They don't own hashtag Black YouTube. They are against. They are agents of. I don't even want to say it." WS, they are agents of WS. The debate should be open to all. Okay, RBR. Okay, that was coherent. Good job. Opinionated Brother Radio. He says, just here to support the show. Appreciate your support. Thanks for coming on through. One thing that I haven't mentioned that much today on the show is that the likes are a little shaky. I know the views are high, so there's probably a lot of people that's normally not here that are here today. Want to be so kind to hit the like button or the thumbs down. Engagement is engagement. So go ahead and do something of the sort. But let's get the likes up. Let's try to bat at least 500 on the likes. 50% will be just fine. But the views are so high that we cannot even add a full solid 50%, even at 293. So I'd like to thank everybody for coming on in. But hit the like button. I would greatly appreciate it. Shout out Fatal Dose in the building. See you down there. Hit the like button. Good people. Hit it. Oh, shoot. Big Ike in the building. Ike is in the building. Came through with a heavy-handed super chat. Appreciate that, Ike. I believe Tuesday is the date that we got set up. I believe it's Tuesday. Me and Ike got a one-on-one on his show. So make sure y'all check that out. I will when he posts it. I will share it early. Make sure y'all get over there and check it out. Y'all know Ike got a wealth of knowledge over there. I think the conversation is going to end up with him interviewing me, but I'm pretty inquisitive and like to ask questions, and he's has a wealth of knowledge. I think it's going to accidentally turn into me interviewing him, but we're going to try to have him interview me. But I think I'm going to end up asking him questions because whenever I get around Ike, I want to pick his brain. But shout out to Ike coming through with the very, very heavy-handed super chat. Appreciate that. We also got Delmar Wilson in the building. He says, "Oh man, it's not lying. I had a woman with modern woman with zero to offer and kid with an absent baby daddy tell me that she doesn't compete for men and doesn't have to." This was 15 years ago. Yeah, 15 years ago, I believe that. Back then, there was no resistance. There was no pushback to those kind of ideas. So I believe that. If you're telling me that happened 15 years ago, right now, it's a new world right now where they're starting to realize that, these crazy thoughts in our head, people are responding to them, and we're actually not making any damn sense. Dr. Watkins is 2 for 3. Thinker in business mind. KS is 3 for 3. Kevin is a patriarch and believes black men leading. Shout out to you. Appreciate that. Also, we got Silent Lamont back in here again, probably trolling me. He said they can't compete, so they try to sell you the parfait. Thank you, Silent. I just knew you was coming with some jokes, man. I was ready. I was ready to dodge, tuck, weave, roll, and maneuver around the punches. I thought you was coming at me. But shout out to Silent Lamont. My man, Grown Man Business in the building. Grown Man Business is in the building. Shout out to him. He says, men were expected to be tools to enhance these broads' life financially. We were never expected to have standards and preference. This reality check has been a kick in the lady parts that were clearly not prepared for. Hashtag men first. Hashtag men first. Also, I think that may be the last one. Appreciate all of you who came through on the super chat in. And once again, shout out to Ike, formal sponsor of the show. Today's show is brought to you by Ike. Ogiaman or Ogiaman. He told me how to pronounce it and I forgot already. But shout out to Ike coming through hard and heavy-handed on the super chats. Appreciate you. All right. Oh man, hopefully you remember where you were at Hey, and y'all did something on the likes. We up to 374 on the likes. That makes us that puts us at over 50%. Appreciate that. Doing good today. Big up, clap it up for everybody, man. Y'all coming through today. The numbers looking good. Everybody supporting, contributing. The likes are where they need to be. The old man is cooking. This is a great show today. So shout out to everybody who's making this thing pop the way that it's popping. But go ahead, old man, you got it.
Yeah, I want to give a big shout out to my man Ike. Here you go, Ike.
Allahu Akbar!
Yeah, man.
Why time out? Why the Allah Akbar?
Oh yeah, I mean, gets it over on Kevin's channel. He's got his own sound effect when he come through with the J-Dam, super chat. So I got my own little version of it. And I decided to roll it out today. Let's do it again for my man Ike.
Allahu Akbar! Allahu Akbar!
Yeah.
I thought about making one for Ike, Steph is Code, and Caesar D1 when they come through. Because they all come through hard and heavy handed with the super chats and cash apps. So I thought about making one for them. I probably still will. I'll still do it. I've got to find something unique for each one of them because they always come through like that. Allah Akbar though. All right.
Oh yeah, I love that. I like that one. Yeah. All right. So anyway, so
funny. Funny's Hot Ross. Appreciate your super chat. I'm passing it back to the old man. I'll leave your comment up there. Okay, I guess I'll read it real quick. Believe it or not, fellas, you guys, the Black Manosphere, are making a difference to brothers all over the globe, especially young brothers with no kids. Don't stop spreading the message, and thank you. See, I love when people say that because people think that we're the agents of destruction over here. No, we're telling, even though it's a lot of talk about getting some action with the ladies, there is a lot of talk about being responsible, building yourself up, getting your money right, getting your business right, getting yourself together, building yourself up, and increasing your, even before the term high value was infused into this space by Kevin Samuels. The concept of increasing your value was something that was being talked about, and not dealing with the women of lower value was something that always been talked about in this space. Shout out to Nagone, who was talking about almost 3 years ago now on Obsidian platform, had this mantra: get your mind right, get your money right, get your business right, get your body right, keep your overhead low and your savings high. Those are messages that have been in the spirit for a while. People talking about investing. The Manosphere has produced and created more truckers, guys picking up trades. So like there's a lot of good that happens here. I hate when people try to just depict us as just some negative group that does nothing to help or encourage men to be the best version of themselves, to get all sappy with it. But there's that. But shout out to the sphere and everybody in it. All right, go ahead, old man, you got it.
Yeah, so let me follow up on that point, because you're right, that has been a major point in the Black manosphere for some years. And that brings me to my next point, where we need to go, taking the battle to the enemy, if you will, going on the offense. And my man Ike is a good segue to this. What he's doing, what he's been doing, is very important as well. And here's the reason why. Here you have a brother from Nigeria, very successful, doing well for himself, supporting Black men in a very public, very conspicuous way. See, this is something that the brothers are going to have to get straight. See, if you're a, for lack of a better way of putting this, educated lane, you're a brother that's a Henry, as Kevin would put it, high earner, not rich yet. You're on your way to being high value status. See, there's a kind of quiet competence that goes along with that. If you think about trustees of major institutions, universities, you think about major hedge fund guys that work in high finance, guys that work in big law, guys that work in big medicine, and so forth. There's a kind of quiet competence that goes along with that. You don't. There's no such thing as a quietly competent NBA star. You know what they call him? A six man at best. You know what they call a quietly competent, NFL player. That's the reliable, second string quarterback. In other words, in certain professions, there is a certain mindset and demeanor and comportment and deportment that goes along with that. So if you're a guy that's strong in the business class, the professions, where really Kevin's focus, that's his focus in terms of the men that he's talking about. There's a kind of quiet competency with that. Okay. Here's the problem. Black women don't respond to quiet competence. They don't. They don't respond to that. Black women are the biggest consumers of social media, bigger than everybody. They consume it to a much higher degree than anybody else. I refer to social media, YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, as the Jumbotron.
Mm-hmm.
And the big issue, and this is where Kevin is going, and he can't do this alone. I'm going to evoke the Rogue One, Battle of Scarif scene again. He cannot do this alone. This is where I want to give Ike a big shout out. It's going to take brothers like Kevin to start coming out of the woodwork. Now, Ike does it in those super chats. Don't think these sisters ain't watching. The axis of BFFery. Not only are they watching, they got out their adding machine and adding it up.
That's part of the reason why he pissed at Jessica X, because they see them super chats coming in over there. That's part of the reason why they mad about that. But anyway, go ahead, carry on. But yeah, we know they watching the money. They watching the money.
Good for you, Jessica X. Keep up the great work. I saw what you did last night, and see what Ike and brothers like him are doing. See, that's one way that you have to be visibly, conspicuously visible to Black women.
Real quick timeout. I got to formally announce that 730. That is my all-time high live views. It was previously 724. Shout out to Angry Man. You always get me my highest views. So shout out to Angry Man. Me and him got to 7. Me and him hit 700 on 2 different shows, 2 different times. So shout out to AM. But I do got to formally announce and thank everybody who's present today. That 732 is my highest views all time. Appreciate everybody. Appreciate you. All right, go ahead. Go ahead, Black Wolf. I mean, not Black. Well, Black Wolf. Shout out to Black Wolf. I'm looking at his super chat. But go ahead. Oh man, you got it.
Yes. So let me do it in another way, and this is something some brothers may not like, but just work with me. So if you think about classic, traditional, and yes, white standards of American leadership, just in terms of, and we're going to take a page out of Kevin's book here. You don't need to be an image consultant to take a page out of his book. Think about what straight ahead Mitt Romney, white bread, suburban white guy respectability looks like. Brooks Brothers, Joseph A. Bank, stuff like that. These are the type of clothiers that the Mitt Romney type guys wear. Black women see that as corny. Brooks Brothers, you're corny. Joseph A. Bank, you're corny. You know what Black women respect? Black women pop too. They pop the Tom Ford. I want you to just sit there and think about that for a minute. And so what am I saying here? I'm saying that Chrissy, and I want brothers to work with me on this. Chrissy made a point. Yes, that Chrissy. She made a point. Years ago when the Pookie and Ray Ray debate was raging. Also know, I call it the great Pookie and Ray Ray debate. You all know what I'm talking about. She made a video. And as a matter of fact, Jessica X referenced that video recently. And she made a good point. I'm talking about Chrissy now. She made a legitimate point. And that point is this. The reason why Black women like me, she didn't say this, but that's what she's really talking about. The reason why Black women like me got with Pookie, Ray Ray, the D-Boys, and so forth, is because the educated lames did not assert themselves. Now, a lot of brothers got upset about that. But if you just calm down and understand where she's coming from, she actually makes a point. Chrissy constantly talks about the Jumbotron. Constantly. Promotion, promotion, promotion. That's what Black women are. Now, I understand the argument. I understand the other side. Let me lay it out. See, the lessons that I learned in the past 2019, 2020. Okay. Everybody knows what I did in 2019. Not going to go back. You know what? Fuck it. I am going to say it. So everybody knows I went to go see Derek Jackson back in the spring of 2019. Everybody knows that. And I learned a lot. I really learned a lot. And I continue to learn lessons since then. And what I want to say to my brothers, and I thank Ike so much for what he's doing. See, a lot of brothers that are Henrys, quietly competent, quietly getting good grades in school, quietly doing their job well, Brooks Brothers, Joseph A. Bank. See, what I'm saying is they see it as beneath them. They see it as superficial and silly. They see it as it causes them to look at black women with a bit of contempt, to tell you the truth. And I understand it because I feel that way. I do. I am not saying that I'm jumping up and down for joy over this. I think it's in a lot of ways pathetic. Now, I know what some brothers are going to say. This is going to be a nod to I'm not even going to use the acronym. You know where I'm going with this. They will say, well, why don't you just walk away? Why don't you just, get a plane, get a passport, date out? I get it. I get it. I get it. But see, here's the problem. Most black men are not going to do that. It would be nice if they did, but they're not.
It's a flawed argument, largely in part because, like I said, this is media. It's intellectual discourse. It's a rhetorical war of ideas.
It is that, but it is.
Your personal life is a different thing. In order to what you do. I just want to say what you do to get your happiness in your personal life is a separate thing from the whole media sphere in the public intellectual rhetorical war of ideas. No. That's a different thing. So that's why I never bought the argument. Why not just walk away?
No.
So anyway, go ahead. Carry on.
I hate to disabuse you of this, Bernard, but no, you're wrong. And here's why.
Okay, well, let's explain.
Number one, Oprah Winfrey. Oprah Winfrey became a household name not because she made a erudite, sober and judicious, aridly academic discourse. No, she made everything personal. Her struggles with her weight was personal. Her love life woes were personal. Her issues of being molested were personal. Women across the country could deeply resonate with that.
But the two aren't mutually exclusive. I'm saying their walk away argument. It's almost like they're saying, just shut up. Now they're doing it for different reasons, and their reasons may be good intentioned, unlike those that make the just shut up arguments, and when they're not doing it in good faith. I think they're arguing in good faith when they say just walk away. But I think what they're missing is that regardless of if you're here, if your personal reasons is what let you down the path of thought to thinking the way that you think, and you want to get those ideas out there because the other people that are getting their ideas out there have opposing ideology, have an opposing ideology. So you want to get yours out there. Telling you to walk away in your personal life, it doesn't change your ideology and your view and your perspective. So that's all I'm saying right there. So the two can go hand in hand. It can be personal. Your personal life could lead you down the path of discovery to thinking the way that you think and reading what you read and learning what you learn, and then you give that to the world. But somebody saying, "Oh, just walk away," yeah, that it undermines the whole intellectual thought process of it, of what's going on here. That's all I'm saying right there. But I do understand your point about Oprah Winfrey. But I mean, I've been meaning to ask you this. Even though it was all personal, do you agree with me that it later leaked out in writings and magazines about how personal it all was? Like she put on a show. She put on a show that if you just outside looking in, just watching the show, you could think that she was just doing the show and the topics were the topics. You wouldn't instantly think that, oh, she's doing these topics because they come from her personal hurt.
I think it was all of that. Let me go back to Ike because I want to make a point.
Okay, go ahead.
See, everything you're saying is true. And, you know, Kevin says something, I agree with him with this. And I'm not just parroting him. This is me. I understand what he means about it's not about being right. See, what you just laid out, Bernard, is the correct argument. In other words, you can make the point and it could be, you know, it could have its own internal logic and be rationally correct and all the rest, and still lose. And how is that true? And how do we know that's true? You don't see brothers like Ike dropping $200, $300, $500 on SYSBM live streams. You just don't. You just don't. That is a vote, if there ever was one, about brothers like Ike, what they want. They want black women, man. There's just no getting around it. That's what they want. They won the battle. It's over. And now we have to move forward. That's what the brothers who matter want. They want black women. Now, we could debate what kind of black women and all that, but let's be clear. They do want black women. We've seen this for 7 months straight on Kevin's channel. It ain't black women dropping $500 a night, $2,000 a night. It's black men. They've proven what they want. I'm sorry, the other side has lost. It's over. We have to move on. And this is where the battle is. Which side is actually moving the needle for you, black woman? Is it Kevin's side or is it these ladies' side? What does your husband think about that? Because the men who want to be husbands are guys like Ike. And you see who they are. That's where we have to move now. And that's why guys like Ike are so important. That's the Jumbotron. And we need to see a steady stream of brothers going across the Jumbotron so black women cannot say all this dusty stuff. No, you mean the brothers that you can attract are dusty. That's what you mean. The brothers that you attract are dusty. All the brothers in your social ecology is dusty. All the brothers in your environment is dusty. You don't know any trustees of a top 10 university. You don't know any brothers that are venture capitalists. You don't know any brothers that are in big law, like Dennis Sperling Esquire. You don't know any brothers that are high-flying corporate headhunters. You don't know any brothers that own their own construction company. You don't know any brothers that own their own media operations. You don't know them. You're not friendly with them. You damn sure ain't banging them. You ain't married to them. No, the men in your life is dusty because we got all these brothers right here, day in and day out, night in and night out, across the Jumbotron. The question is, why ain't you got one? Why is that? Why? See, that's where we got to take this conversation. Now, does that mean that I think that SYSBM is bad? No. I'm not saying to the brothers, if that's where you at with it, if you want to move on, I respect and I endorse that. I'm good with it. But, I mean, I think at this juncture, I mean, how much more evidence do we need on where brothers who matter are? How much more evidence do we need? At what point do we concede? See, this brings me to my next point about Rogue One. They were all under the leadership of Admiral Raddus. And then they had various leaders, squad leaders of the X-Wing fighters, red group, gold group, blue group, the Y-Wing fighters, the A-Wing. They were all under a hierarchy. The Rebel Alliance couldn't work if they didn't have a hierarchy. Somebody's got to call the shots. Black men are going to have to be okay with that. So that's where I'm at with it.
You mentioned hierarchy and somebody going to have to call the shots. So you're talking about the Black Manosphere and the hierarchy in it and somebody calling the shots in it?
Yes.
But what all do that exactly consist of?
Well, we need to be more organized. Our opposition is a well-organized machine. Make no mistake about it. They are organized. They collaborate. They structure their content such that they're not stepping on each other. They stay on message. We got to do the same thing. We can't be out there trying to herd cats.
Okay, so being more organized. I think most people can agree that, being organized is a good thing.
Next, we got to start taking this thing like the business that it is. We got to start taking this like the business that it is. Guys like Ike, I'm just going to go ahead and say this. Guys like Ike don't want to invest in a basket case of a situation. They don't. They don't come from a world of disorganization. You cannot be an Ike and just be a whatever type dude hanging on the corner. I'm sorry, you can't. You got to have your act together. You got to be precise. You got to be organized. That's just how that works, man. That's just how that works. I was talking the other day about Kevin. You know, there's voices in the Black manosphere that sound something like this. He's only talking to Black women. He don't want to talk to brothers and stuff like that. I said, I'll go ahead and put it out there for you. Kevin's already talked about this, but I'll go ahead and do it. You're right. And I'm going to tell you the reason why you don't want to put brothers on the screen. Because you're not camera ready. Kevin is an image consultant, for God's sake. He is selling the vision. Black women don't want to see dudes in hats to the back. Look like they ain't had a haircut in months. Look like they're in a junky bedroom or a hovel somewhere and talking with a mumble. They don't. It's a bad look for his brand. He wants brothers that are camera ready, suited, booted, look good, smell good, sound good, speak with the whole word. They look like money. They sound like money. They're success. That's what he wants. I'm not saying you have to like it. I'm not saying you have to agree with it. The Black manosphere is a big place. But if you want to be a part of that show, that's what you got to do. The standard is the standard. That's it. I mean, it really is that simple. You don't have to do it. Nobody's, putting a gun to your head, making you do this. If you don't want to be a part of it, that's great. But understand this. That is the standard, and it's not going to change.
Indigenous TV, shout out to you for the super chat. Appreciate that. Hashim Nichols in the building. He says, we outside the so-called competition while avoiding the obstacles meet to, okay, let me make this bigger so I can see it. I'm tripping. I'm gonna get glasses. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and break down and get it, or at least contacts, even though I hate the idea of putting something on my eyeball. It's just obstacles meant to hamstring our rise. Cream F being humble. Shout out to you. Appreciate the super chat. And then when I blew that up, that made me lose other super chats that came through. Let me see if I could find them. But shout out to everybody who's supporting the show. Shout out to the 775 people in the building. Make sure y'all hitting that like button. Perhaps these views can get a little higher. Mr. Shane Vicious, he said the interracial rate of Black men is steadily increasing. Shout out to you for that. Shout out to everybody who's supporting the show. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. And more people just came on through right as I speak. Right as I speak. Let me make sure I get to those. Okay, we got Classic 360 in the building. He says, much love and respect to Bernard and the old man, plus everyone in the chat. Blessings to the Black Manosphere. The dusty term is dead now. Yeah, they try to resurrect it every night, though. They try to resurrect it. So he says, no, my recent intel shows that TKO and KC subs having issues with each other. Oh, yeah, it was a little debate. I didn't watch the whole thing. I saw a little segmented clip of it. So a few people did response videos to it, but apparently the girl that swirls in TKO had a little riff, a little back and forth, a little spitter spatter about a few things. Look, they're going to collide. They're going to collide, especially when they realize that they are getting in cahoots with Shira 7, the same woman who I listened to her in the same stream tell a woman to just go get pregnant on purpose, because the woman was like, yeah, I'm this great guy. I want to marry him. He don't want to marry me. Should I get pregnant just to try to lock him down? And she was like, did you say he was a good provider? Oh yeah, then girl, go ahead and get pregnant. What you waiting on? She just told her flat out, just go ahead and get pregnant. What you waiting on? He made good money. Okay, go get pregnant by him. So what if he want to marry? Just so she telling women stuff like that. In that same stream, Shira 7 also said to a woman, she was like, I found this guy, ain't really that fond of him, but he really liked me and he want to marry me, but he don't want to sign a prenup. He don't want me to sign a prenup. She was just like, okay, marry him and then Google how to get out of how to work your way out of a prenup. It's easy. So just marry him anyway, and just figure out how to get out of the prenup. She's talking like that. Now, Tanya TKO and Pink and the Swirl Girl, they try to carry a certain amount of dignity with what they do. And they getting in cahoots with a very undignified person. And TKO and KC, the Swirl Girl, they ideologically got some stuff, because one of them is very pro BLM. And the Swirl Girl, she's actually very conservative. So they had a little debate on that. So trust me, that's going to all fall apart. When they realize Shira 7 ain't good for their brand. And when TKO and Swirl Girl realize how much they disagree on stuff. They already had it. They're already starting to have it out a little bit. So you're right on that. It's going to be funny watching that unfold. Yep. Yeah, I didn't even read that part where you said something about love and hip hop, but yeah, it's going to turn into that. Absolutely.
Yeah. So
absolutely. And my computer, this thing is freezing. That goes back to what we probably talked about before, about how you said I need to get more. My previous laptop didn't freeze, but I just got a brand new laptop, a bigger, better laptop, and this thing is freezing. So I might need to, gotta upgrade. I thought a laptop was functional, but I guess I had a I don't know. But Coach Ali in the building, he says, time to get on that. Get out of here with that no fap, Bernard, and fix those eyes. Bull crap. Getting one off don't make you go blind. I don't buy that. Even though me and Coach Ali did have a good show on no fap, where he did, he broke down a lot of stuff. I ain't with the no fap community, but it was an interesting show. And if you can get something out of it and learn something from it, go ahead and do it. Go ahead and get it. But go ahead. Oh man, you got the floor. You got the mic. Thanks everybody for supporting the show. Appreciate you.
Yeah. So let's assume, for the sake of argument, that at some point in 2021, this axis of BFFery falls apart. Due to infighting. Let's assume that's true.
Yeah.
That still doesn't answer the question of us moving the needle forward.
Mm-hmm.
The Black Manosphere needs to take advantage of the opportunity in front of us to expand the tent. You want more guys like Ike showing up? Suit up. You want more guys like Ike showing up? Present yourself well. Make better content. Get it like an actual show. That will require investment.
Yeah. I'm with you 100% on the make better content, make better show, look presentable. I'm not team everybody need to put a suit on, but you can not have a suit on, but still dress nice and look professional and have a good setup, good camera work, good presentation, have a good set, a good, you can still up the ante on your overall presentation, and you're right. You're right. It will draw in a different crowd. There's certain people who just not gonna just listen to cell phone chatter. So that's true. That's true. But I'm not with you on the everybody got to suit up thing. But far as professional presentation, and yeah, you shouldn't be dressed. Oh, I'm not gonna say you shouldn't be dressed in a dingy ring around the collar t-shirt and looking dingy or dusty, no pun intended, on camera with your presentation. I will say that point, but yeah, but I don't agree with the everybody suiting up thing. I don't agree with that aspect of it, but carry on with your point, because you are making good points about I mean, it was Kevin Samuels' presentation, how he presents himself, how he conducts his show, how it's professional. It looks every bit as good as something that you will see on TV. Yeah, that did draw out a lot of brothers who yeah, who can drop a $200 super chat like it ain't nothing. So yeah, I mean, there's a point there. I'm not saying you don't have a point. Like you're definitely making a good point as far as the crowd that it draws in, and I think that's across the board on all of YouTube. People who present well tend to do better, over time. Look at the channels that you see with 1 million views. They have a certain look and presentation. Not all with a suit on, but still a certain look and presentation and level of professionalism and level of sound quality and level of anything good that makes the channel function. They're doing it at an optimal level. They're scoring, bare minimum a B+ in all the categories.
There's a brother in the chat room that asked a good question. I'm glad he did. He says that he's kind of confused because he says, is this about the message or the image? And he uses the analogy of a great looking car. He will use like a Ferrari or something that's really crappy in terms of its motor and stuff. And my response is, why can't it be both?
I agree with that.
I mean, Kevin Samuels is both. I mean, he's a saint, not a deity. Saints are human beings. Deities are supernatural. Angels are supernatural beings. That tells me that any one of us can do what he's doing. I don't understand what the objections are at this point. If you want a certain outcome, then you do certain things. If you want a certain clientele, then you present a certain way. It really is that simple, man.
Okay, I mean, this is getting to the point where it's turning into a conversation that content creators need to have behind the scenes. I know you say that the audience, which is an important part of the manosphere, has a role to play too, especially when they're coming up on.
Let's ask a question. Hang on a second. Let's ask a question. We're having this conversation within the context of Samuel's and the reaction by a certain vociferous segment of Black women online. Okay. So exactly what type of Black men are we talking about? I mean, we know what kind of Black men Kevin is talking about, but since that is something that seems to be up in the air, all right. So what kind of Black men are we talking about here? The Black men among us. Who are we trying to reach? I'll tell you who I'm trying to reach. I'm trying to reach brothers like me. Black men who are, despite the fact that they didn't have the chance to go on to, school, go on to to gain all the trappings of upper middle class respectability. They came from more humble beginnings and, more blue collar backgrounds, but nevertheless were ambitious, smart, industrious, creative, with a formidable work ethic. See, the great thing about American life is that there always is a place for the self-made man. There's always a place for that. That's what America is about. The Horatio Alger, the George Jefferson. I want to get guys like that who want to ascend, who are aspirational, who is always reaching for a new star. That's what I'm looking for. But the question becomes, what are you guys looking for?
You talking to content creators?
I'm talking about what clientele do you want?
I know, but that's a discussion to content creators.
Well, but the commenters are just as important as the content creators. I mean, that is the argument, is it not? That's what sets apart the Black manosphere from everywhere else on social media, right?
Yeah, dropping the link and all of that. Yeah, it did change things in the manosphere, and the commenters, became more or less a part of the show. There's still there's great commenters like I always mention Judge Zilla. I practically de facto view him as a content creator. Like, he's really good, and hopefully someday he gets into it. But so yeah, it is a thing with the manosphere where the audience becomes part of it. I just feel like you're talking content strategy and business model, and that's something that I think that we definitely need to get together and talk about. I mean, me and you get together and talk about that kind of stuff, every now and then. But overall, I think those that are involved, that are in the manosphere, something we started doing before, how it was we had little Zoom meetings. I think probably anywhere from 10 to 12 people showed up, and we talked about various things. So yeah, getting a coordinated strategy together. Yeah, that's a good thing. That's a good thing. But I think I still personally believe that for the most part is a content creator behind the scenes conversation. I mean, that it'll be had more effectively there.
Well, but that's the problem. See, this is what I'm saying. Here's the trick, though. Here's the trick. If the argument is that what sets the Black manosphere apart from everybody else in social media is that the commenters are as important to the show as the content creators, then they're as much a part of the strategy as the content creators, are they not?
To some degree, but clearly, I mean, they're a part of it, but I don't know. I mean, I understand where you're going. Understand where you're going and what you're saying, but I'll put it like this: you want to talk about the axis of evil, with the individuals that we were talking about earlier. I'm sure when they coordinate their strategy, they don't do it on the air. They just do it. I mean, they talk about it.
I'm glad
they talk. Hold on, real quick. Let me say it though. I'm quite sure they talk behind the scenes, get their plan together, and then go do it, and then their audience just sees it.
Yeah,
the audience just sees it working.
But here's the problem, though.
Okay,
they never said what sets us apart from everybody else is that the commenters are just as important as the content creators. That is what the argument is with the Black manosphere. I'm just putting it to the acid test. So which is it?
I don't know. Kadash Shaya says, is it true that the Swirl Girl allegedly big up the Proud Boys for what they did in DC? I don't know if that part is true, but I wouldn't be that surprised. I know she's very conservative in her views, and that wouldn't shock me at all that she's gonna, side with white men. so there's that. So that was some of the infighting that they had going on, but I don't know. I saw a little small snippet of it. I can't speak of it too much. I did see some people in the chat confirm that she bigged up the Proud Boys, and that's that. Coach Ali, thank you for the super chat. Appreciate that. He says, question, oh man, how can us married men fit into this picture for the manosphere moving forward? if we can fit at all.
I think married men are very important. Married black men, especially of the stripe we're talking about right now, are crucial because if for no other, I mean, for a whole lot of reasons, but for if no other reason, then it acts as a powerful counterweight. Look, we got married men here. Men here gotten married. So again, it throws it back on the other side. Okay, show us the married women coming forward. Okay, you got Crystalline, you got Shira 7. Fine. Who else? Tanya, Cynthia, Chrissy, fill in the blank. Who else? Willing to come forward and go on the record. We got plenty of married men in the black manosphere. What do they got? We need to keep driving back to that point. What does your husband think about this?
Chocola S, that's a weird name. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate that. There, I said it in the building. Appreciate you for that super chat. He said the sphere pushes black male excellence. The opposition endorses female ninja shite in the name of black woman empowerment. Yes, I agree with that. Even the pink one aligns with the ratchetry. Absolutely. Absolutely. NYC Songman in the building. He says, thanks for this civil and thoughtful show. Yes, substance gets the job done, no doubt. Still, you have to get in the door first. Absolutely. Thank you for the super chat, NYC Songman. Appreciate you. Silent Lamont. He said Obsidian is Ebony Maw. I don't know who Ebony Maw is.
I doubt most people don't. But let me so there's a real question here. So we have the other side that is well organized. The question is, what is the black manosphere's response? And so we used Rogue One to make a point. And Rogue One itself is based on World War II. You had a Supreme Allied Commander. His name was Dwight Eisenhower, who went on to become a president. You had Patton. You had LeMay. You, on the British side, you had Bernard Montgomery, Lord Bernard Montgomery. I mean, you had different war generals. What is going to be our response? Is it going to be an organized one? Or is it going to be kind of, helter-skelter, pell-mell type of deal coming out of Korea? I mean, how, are we going to have, a Westmoreland type situation under McNamara in Vietnam?
Here's a good question on the table. S. Howard 2 says, what can commentators or audience do to counteract those attempting to silence content? I think that's one for you. I don't know. I don't know what you can do to stop.
What can the commenters do or audience do to counteract those attempting to silence content? Excuse me. Well, the first thing you have to do is you have to support the content creators that you support. You can't, black men have got to be much more assertive. I know a lot of brothers don't want to hear it, but Chrissy was on to something with that. It's not enough to be quietly competent. It's not enough to just quietly watch who you like and that's it. That's not enough. That's not enough. You have to get assertive. You have to get involved. You have to hit the like button, hit the share button, hit that cash app, hit the super chat. You have to, talk it up. You have to talk it up in real time. You have to be willing to talk about these issues in real time in earshot of others. You have to be willing to make the case to other black men in real time. I mean, that's what you have to do. It's just not enough to be quietly competent. That works with white women. That works with Asian women. That doesn't work with black women. And for those out there saying, why don't you walk away? Because we want black women, that's why. I mean, at what point do we not accept that and move on?
I mean, I'm with the black woman. I mean, with a very, very, very feminine, happy relationship. I mean, with a very feminine black woman in a happy relationship. So, I mean, so I don't just walk away. I mean, there's that. But go ahead, old man. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying. I mean, for the guys who keep saying just walk away, I'm sorry, man. You had 8 months of Kevin night in and night out, brothers there dropping all kind of J-damn super chats. They're not walking away, man. That is a minority of black men who I support, but that's not the majority of black men. I'm sorry, it's just not. Especially the black men who matter. Not the Dusties, but the Henrys. At what point do we accept that and move on? And fall in line like all other men do. I mean, what was it going to take? What more do we need? We have yet a repeat of what happened 5 years ago, forming the wolf is at the door, and we're still debating this? Really?
Kadash, go ahead and retype what you said. You said you had a super chat where you asked another question to Obsidian. Retype that. You don't got to super chat it. I'll look out for it, and retype that. Then I'll put the question to Obsidian. Yeah, the walk away. Listen, I am pro black men being happy, healthy, flourishing. However that works for you. Like that's all. I'm not trying to. I'll never twist somebody's arm and say they need to be with a woman of this hue, dark, light, white, black. Like that's when it gets goofy. That's when it gets goofy. But you got to do what work for you. If you're a brother and you say temperamentally, most black women I can't deal with. Yeah, temperamentally, a lot of them I ain't dealing with. I'm with one who's temperamentally on point. So I mean, at the end of the day, I'm all about I'm all about brothers' happiness, health, flourishing. Just do. I mean, listen. If that, whatever that means for you, however that manifests for you, do it. But telling other brothers, just walk away. Just walk away. I mean, I don't that I don't understand, because that's just about as goofy as me going to Mad Bus Drivers channel, or Obsidian going to Mad Bus Drivers channel and saying, just find you a good black woman. Like that would be goofy. That would be goofy. So I'm pro doing what works for you. I'm pro black men winning, however you define that winning. Go win. Like, so that's I mean, like that's simple math right there.
Yeah, but that's not what's going on here. That's not really what's going on here.
Yeah, real quick, Charles Faulkner, thank you for the super chat. I'm scrolled up trying to find the question that the brother Kadash asked, and I'm seeing old super chats. So shout out to Charles Faulkner. He says, from the classic suit wearing, styling, and profiling. Woo! Shout out to Charles Faulkner. Appreciate you. Malcolm in the middle, I see your super chat. I didn't call that one out. David Johnson, I see that I missed a few from you. Ash L in the building, bringing up busty Latinas. He says, don't need you to be on the Jumbotron. They see potential and they snatch it up. Thank you for the super chat. Appreciate that. Who else we got in here? Thank you, everybody who came through on the super chat. I apologize. The chat moving hella fast, so some of them I missed, but I will be trying to catch all of them going forward. So appreciate all the continued support from all the brothers in the sphere, regardless of the skin color of the woman that you lay with at night. I can give two shits about that. So I appreciate all the support either way. But shout out to, I can't find that one. Type that again. I was trying to find it. Go ahead and type that again, Kadash, so I can put that question to Obsidian. A lot of people who got your questions, man, super chat your questions. I will read them to Obsidian. Oh, okay, I found it. I didn't find it. He retyped it. So hold your thought on what you was about to say, but this was a super chatted question that I'm going to read right now. The question is, what is Obsidian's thoughts on blue collar brothers camming up and being eloquent in speech, but in uniform? i.e. police officer, FedEx, auto mechanic, UPS, etc.? That is a damn good question. Glad you.
I wouldn't recommend it.
Why not?
Because black women see blue collar guys as inherently low class, inherently being less than. It's about image, man. I know a lot of brothers don't want to hear this. I know they don't. I know they don't. I don't. I don't like it. I don't. But that's not going to change anything. Do you want to win or do you want to be right? I want to win. I want to win.
You want to win what? Is the
No,
question.
I want to win the argument, win the battle, move the needle. I don't just want to be right. A lot of brothers are about being right, not about winning. You can be a blue collar brother and be suited and booted and very eloquent. And then they say, oh, shit, I didn't know that about him. Oh, okay. Why shoot yourself in the foot? Why? Having the facts is not enough. I know that is very difficult for a lot of brothers to accept. Having the facts is not enough. You got to win too.
Damn good question though, Kadash. Damn good question. Appreciate that. Good men in the building says, let me blow it up. For those asking, Killer Mike and Adam Butler's comments are under KS video on IG. Killer Mike, reposted and said he was healing black families, one thrill video at a time. Shout out to Killer Mike. Whoa. Killer Mike said that about Kevin Samuels. Good stuff, Killer Mike. Good stuff. I like that. I like that. Killer Mike is a very pro-black brother, and I've been sitting there thinking that anybody who got some pro-blackness in them would probably, if they were honest and genuine and listening to it in good faith, they should come to that conclusion that the end result of what he's doing, it will heal black families or create more black families. And if you're pro-black, you do want more black families. So it seems like a lot of them would draw the conclusion that Killer Mike draws. So that's interesting that he did that. Thank you for that information. Good man. Appreciate that. Obsidian, I keep asking you to hold your thought because Ty City coming through, probably trolling. I'm just playing. I think Obsidian is trying to say he wants to win by a large margin.
Like Tiger Woods in 1995. I want to win so bad. I want Fuzzy Zoller feeling some type of way, talking about fried chicken and watermelon.
Mr. Palmer in the building says many black pros know the truth. We about due for another collab, Mr. Palmer. We about due for another one. Shout out to you. Jerome D in the building. He says the high value, the dusty arguments are smoke screens. These drags aren't mad at what you are. They're mad because we're happy. Fair point.
And as for Killer Mike, well, here we go again. I mean, how much more evidence do we need, man? Seriously. What more do we need? I mean, as far as I'm concerned, the debate is over, and now we march because we got work to do. We got a lot of work to do. We do. And we got a wolf at the door as we speak, trying to do a repeat of what they tried to do 4 or 5 years ago. I don't think it's going to work, but not for them not trying. We got a lot of work to do. And we're still stuck in stuff that's now literally in the rearview mirror. We got to be much more future oriented, fellas. We got to look forward. Most black men who matter want black women. The end. The end. There's nothing else to debate here. You're not going to convince guys like Ike to SYSBM. You're not. You're not. You're not. That ship has already sailed. So we have to move on. Oh, and for those who say that's not true, go to the 7 months straight videos of Kevin and watch the super chats for yourself. And you tell me if I'm wrong. Look at the black men who are doing it. Night in and night out.
All right.
Yeah, we really have to do a compare and contrast. Do we really have to do that? I mean, come on.
I mean,
I'm trying to be diplomatic about this. I'm trying to say live and let live.
You kind of not living and letting living. I mean,
I respect those who want to move on. That's not enough. It's not enough.
And one thing, I don't know if, I mean, you keep using Ike's name as an example. I don't know where, I mean, yes, I know he supports Kevin Samuels for his reasons that he supports Kevin Samuels, but I don't know if it's that linear as he wants or likes black women. I mean, I don't know. I was like, it's almost like you're speaking for Ike, somebody who can speak for himself, and I don't know if Ike co-signs exactly what you're saying.
Well, I do know, because the black men of that stripe that support Kevin want black women. They do.
I think somebody in the chat said Ike is with an African woman.
So there you go. So again, I mean, you know, why are we relitigating all this stuff? We got to move forward, man. It's the new year. We got to move forward. This is the direction we're moving in. I don't understand this. See, if there's one major weakness with the black manosphere, this is it. Because the other side, they form up and get on code. Now, they can be wrong, but they do it. Do we really have to repeat this all over again? Really?
So what is your argument? Are you trying to convince? I take it you're not trying to convince an SYSBM. To the person who asked, SYSBM, it means save yourself, black man. It's a movement, or I don't even want to. It has something to do with black men not dealing with American black women. I don't want to restate what they are and botch it and get it wrong. So, but I'll just give you just the bullet points for the few people in the chat that don't know that's the general bullet points of what it is. So, Obsidian. Are you? I'm trying to figure out what are you accomplishing here, because we were started out talking about the axis of evil, the new triumvirate of BFF that's going on, that's rallying together against Kevin Samuels. Now you're talking about SYSBM. I take it you're not trying to convince them to be with black women. I take it you're obviously not trying to do that. But so I'm just trying to figure out what is the goal, point, and purpose in this whole de facto airing out of SYSBM that you've turned this into. Like what is, I don't get the point. Like the SY, I mean, they exist, they have their view, and their views are their views, and they're not hurting or affecting. I don't see what they're hurting or affecting. Or do you think they're hurting or affecting something? So I'm just trying to figure out what's the point in this aspect of it.
Well, what I'm trying to say here is that we're in a new period. I mean, what more is there to be said about this?
I know, but what do you want, though?
Well, I want us to move forward. I want us to form up, actually work together, support each other, put down the other side, and move forward. Move the.
I know. Well, hold on. Time out. Do move forward mean you want SYSBM brothers to not be SYSBM?
No.
Okay, so what does it mean then?
What I want for the SYSBM brothers is to do just that. If they want to move on, great.
So okay. You're telling them to just shut up then?
No, I'm saying they have the right to move on. If they want to move on, they can do that. But a lot of brothers, the Henrys, want black women.
Okay, and I don't see how that conflicts with SYSBM. So that's why
but you have to ask them because they're the ones that's saying, no, why don't you just walk away? Well, because they already made the decision.
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you that they're wrong for coming in here saying just walk away. And I explained why that's logically flawed to do that. But I think in your own way, it sounds like you're de facto doing the same thing in a roundabout way. Or you're just trying to draw.
If I want them to shut up, I say that. I don't want them to shut up. No, absolutely not. I've asked it before, and you and I had words about this. My position is if you're a vegan, why do you keep going back to the steakhouse demanding that everybody else be vegans?
That's fair. That's fair. Like I said, they're welcome to come in, hang out. This is a space for black men, but the just walk away thing, I do think that that's pointless because for me, it's obviously not about skin color. It's about a compliant, agreeable woman that works for you, regardless of her skin color. So I'm with you that it does get goofy when it's just too much. Walk away. I do agree with that.
But for the Henrys, it is about skin color. Look, man, you can't build black wealth if black people ain't involved in it. Black men and black women. I'm sorry, you just can't. If you want to build black wealth, black societies, functioning black communities, you're not going to do that when you don't have black men and black women working together. And Henrys have voted with their feet and their wallet that that's what they want.
And that's good, and they can go do that, but I don't see what SYSBM can do what they're doing. What'd you say?
Because they keep trying to disrupt it. Move on.
Okay, the disruption angle, I mean aspect, I do understand that. I do understand that it can be a derailing of I said he's stupid. It can be a derailing of conversation sometimes if good points are being made about black men, black women, the black community, and the whole social dynamics within, and the one size fit all response to a good conversation taking place about the problems within the black community. The one size fits all answer is just walk away. I understand the objection to that. I definitely understand the objection to that. So, but overall, I mean, talking about the Henrys that voted with their feet, okay, that's fine. They can vote with their feet. That's why SBM can vote with their feet. At the end of the day, we're all black men. I did a stream recently highlighting Drew Holiday, who donated would amount to I think $5 million to black businesses. He's married to a white woman, so no, those brothers, their resources and their capital can still be a benefit to black people.
But he's not the one. See, now we're talking about ideology. Mm-hmm. Do we know why Robert F. Smith did what he did? Did he say SYSBM? Did he do that? Or did we just claim him as that? Why? We don't know that.
No, I don't think he's ideologically interracially dating.
So now let's move to something else. And we're going to go back to something else here. So I recall a conversation where Kevin had with another gentleman, where the gentleman was upset with Kevin the way he was doing business. And Kevin responded by saying, well, look, there's a solution here. There's a business solution here. You can buy me out. And the gentleman asked the price, and Kevin said at the time, I think it was 1.2 million. I think it's fair to say that price has gone up since then. But nevertheless, here's the point. And this is something else black men in the black manosphere are going to have to come to grips with. You see, part of the reason why Kevin is where he is today is because there are some black men who put their money where their mouth is. And we're not talking $5 or $10 either. See, that's how things work in America. That's how politics works. That's how business works. That's how things get done. Look at all the major schools with the endowments. Harvard has an endowment that's bigger than the GDP of some countries. That's how things get done. Black men are the only group of men who think things can get done without that. That just mere rhetoric alone can move mountains. I'm sorry, that's not true. And the black men who sign the checks are the ones who have the biggest voice. That's how it works in life. That's how it works in life. Oh, and if I may,
Mhm.
I like the honors on this one. Alan Roger Curry sends in the $5 super chat, and he says, "I seem to remember Obsidian referring to himself as SYSBM back in 2018 or early 19. Am I wrong on this?" No, you're not. He once claimed MGTOW too. Am I wrong? Yes, you are. Very.
Well, real quick, before I highlight ARC's super chat, shout out to the Raw Truth. Me and him did a really great one-on-one. Y'all need to go and check that out. It's the one with Joe Clark in the thumbnail. This man is a black high school principal for an all-black high school. He's down there at Ground Zero fighting a good fight, walking around with a bullhorn and a baseball bat like Joe Clark. So yeah, y'all definitely want to check out that brother's channel. I just gave you a wrench. You can drop your link in there. You can drop your link in the chat. And also, yeah, check out his channel and check out that one-on-one that me and him did if you haven't seen that already. And also, shout out to ARC in the building, friend of the show, Alan Roger Curry. Shout out to him. But Obsidian, where you finish with your response? Oh wait, no, I don't think you finished your response. So go ahead, you can finish your response.
No, just to reiterate, yeah, I am at SYSBM. Why? Because I believe in the First Amendment, freedom of association. I believe in the right of black men to be able to go and seek mates based on their own choices. I'm not against that. That is part of the American way. I am against MGTOW, and I've been very vocal about it, and have been for years. So you'll be wrong about that. But notice something here. 2018, 2019, brother, it's 2021. I've moved on. Why haven't you? Do you see what I'm talking about here? Let's move on. This is where we are now. Let's move forward. See, this is really where this gets down to now. Do we really want to move on? Do we? I do. I'll tell you exactly what I want to do. See, I want black women to just go ahead and just say, you know what? I don't give a damn. I ain't submitting to no man. I don't give a damn if it's Barack Hussein Obama himself. I ain't doing it. Period. I'll be like, all right, cool. We can go on about our business then. We can end this right here. See, black women won't do that. Black women won't just say, I don't give a damn what the black man is. I ain't falling in line behind him. I'm not competing for him. I don't give a damn. See, black women won't say that. Black women won't say, you know what? I know for a fact that there are competent, industrious, ambitious, faithful, successful brothers out there. I just don't want to bang them. See, black women won't say that. They won't. We can end all of this today. For all those brothers out there talking about, he just concerned about his collection plate. I didn't put it out there to the sisters so many times. I done turned blue in the face. You can put me out of business today. Put me out of business. You ain't got to do a petition. You ain't got to, try to have me flagged down. You ain't got to do all that. All you got to do is real simple, ladies. It's real simple. All you got to do is say the words. I don't give a damn what a brother does. I ain't submitting to no black man, no matter what. I ain't falling in line, no matter what. I don't give a damn that there are good brothers out there. I don't want to bang them. We can end it today. I have to find something else to do.
You gonna break your desk or your mic? Oh man, be careful.
Oh no. No.
Well, you always say you're bad on you're real hard on your equipment. I never understood why, but once I found out that I think you hold your mic in your hand while you're doing the show. Is that true? Yeah,
it's on a mic stand, but I often do pick it up. But yeah, I mean, we can get right to it. See, sisters went a bridge too far by calling Kevin Samuels dusty. See, the non-select piece would have been intact had they not done that. But see, when they did that, as Uncle David Carroll pointed out, well, shit, all black men are dusty. And see, that goes back to my bachelor piece. Because see, in the minds of sisters, Matt James ain't good enough either. So in a very real sense, we can chuck the select, non-select thing out the window, can't we?
J.I. says Manosphere doesn't want to fix black love, though. But I mean, no, I can agree that that's true, but at the same time, Black Manosphere is, shout out to the Raw Truth, and when he said it, I believe that was him that said that the Black Manosphere is the black church, is the church of black patriarchy. That's what he called it. So the Black Manosphere is for patriarchy, but it's not for black love as it's currently presented. Put it like that. We ain't for that. We don't do that here. So, but if you're for patriarchy, then yeah, then women are involved. That part can't be denied. That part can't be denied if you're in favor of patriarchy. But as far as the current iteration of what people are talking about when they're talking about black love, or even putting love after the word black and making it like it's a thing, like the people that got more functional relationships, they don't call it Asian love, Chinese love, white love, Hispanic, Latino love. Like nobody does that. The people who suck at it are the ones that trying to put a name on it and brand it as something.
I'm glad you said that, because that's something else. And I've noticed over the arc of Kevin's rise to fame, if you will, I've noticed and culminated the other day with my show. I talked about Dr. Alicia, right? That's the fiance of Dr. Boyce Watkins. And I was analyzing and giving commentary on a recent live that they did. And she was talking about love and compassion, and essentially saying that Kevin didn't exhibit those traits in his diatribes, okay? And it's interesting to me because black women don't talk about love when they talk about what they want in a man. They ain't talking about he got to be compassionate and loving and caring. No, they talk about his height, how he looked, what kind of money he got, where he went to school, what kind of job he got, what kind of car he drive. All that love stuff comes lots later. And black men have accepted it, present company included. But I noticed that when time comes to assess the ladies, and the ladies fall short, woefully short, now all of a sudden we got to talk about compassion and love and all the rest of it. And the reason why I'm bringing this up and what you're talking about with black love is you're 100% correct. It's a sham. It is. And the thing I love about what Kevin is doing, if you listen to Kevin carefully, he don't say a damn thing about love. This is about alliances. What you can do for me, what I can do for you. There's a reason why I play that Game of Thrones song. This is House Obsidian. What does House Helen offer me? What tactical and strategic advantage do you offer me in an alliance? What? And see, that's where the rubber hits the road, because see, up until now, the argument has been that the problem with black love is black men.
Yep.
But we're seeing something a lot different, aren't we? On the Jumbotron, we're seeing something a lot different. We were told, and we talked about this right here, that there were brothers who have now switched sides, I note, him, that there were short, fat guys pining away for Instagram models.
Yeah.
They don't know their lane. They need to stay in their lane. Where are those guys now? They spoke with such authority. They were so strident a year ago. Where are they now? You can hear a rat pissing on cotton now, can't you? And if they had any type of honor about them, they would come back and admit that they were wrong to the brothers in the black manosphere, but they ain't going to do that. And we know they ain't going to do that. That's okay. It's okay. It's all right.
Simon Landreth in the building. He says, Obsidian, if these Henrys and high-value men could choose between an ADOS woman that they knew would eventually divorce them and a non-ADOS woman that wouldn't, who would they choose? Question put on the table by Simon. You're free to answer.
Okay, Obsidian, these Henrys and high value men can choose between the ADOS women that they knew would eventually divorce them and the non-ADOS women that women do you think they will choose? I do know Henry brothers that choose the latter, and I know Henry brothers that chose the former and didn't get divorced. See, this is the other problem I'm having. We have to, and this is the reason why I'm glad that what we're seeing now is taking place. We need to separate the wheat from the chaff. We need to separate the black women, ADOS black women, who are just not going to cooperate no matter what. That's fine. They want to live their life fine, as long as I ain't got to pay for it. Separate them from the sisters who do want to cooperate. And here's something else. When we get the sisters who do want to cooperate, we got to back them up. We got to back them up. We got to support them.
Shout out to Laro. The comment got away from me, but I see it. You said something really good. I like what you said there. You said, stop calling us commenters. We are supporters. Fair point. Fair point. Especially with you, somebody who definitely supports monetarily. But even if you're here dropping comments and likes and you're here participating in the conversation, you are supporting it in a way. So I mean, you make a fair point. You make a fair point. I can't highlight it, but I do want to take a pause to mention that is a fair point. Says stop calling us commenters. We are supporters. Fair point there. Mr. Fantastic in the building. He says the problem is that men should not want to be high value for black or any women. Want the women who want you. There's more than one model for success in life. We can't make one man the only model. I don't think anybody is making one man the only model. One thing that happens on Kevin Samuels' show, when the chick come in wanting a high value man, and then he does a proper appraisal of her, and you say, yeah, no, you don't qualify for some guy that make $150,000 to $200,000 a year, but there are perfectly suitable, hardworking, competent men who you do qualify for. They're just not going to be able to fund a lifestyle and help you be able to live a basketball wives lifestyle and walk around in red bottoms and Gucci bags and stuff like that. But there's definitely somebody suitable, and that guy who's working hard and productive, even if he don't fall under the definition of high value, he's still a brother who's doing right. I mean, so that's where I'm at with that. Obsidian, you could respond to that one if you wish to.
Yeah, Mr. Fantastic makes an interesting statement. It is actually broken up in three parts. So let me take on those three parts. First part is the problem is that men should not want to be high value for black or any women. I don't recall anyone making that argument.
Yeah, real quick, Kevin Samuels' definition of high value does not include women at all. And even when I had Ike on and we talked about it, Ike gave a very, very long-winded definition of high value. He spoke extensively about it. Not once did he mention women. I sat there and waited for him to do it. He talked like 30 minutes on it and never mentioned women. So, yeah, there's that. There's that aspect of it.
I don't recall that. The second piece, and you took it off the board, so I can't.
My bad. It's still here. Hold on.
Yeah, the second part of the statement was that you should want the women that want you. I disagree. You should want the women that you want. The women you don't want don't count. Going back to the whole thing about MGTOW. The reason why I'm not a MGTOW is because my being a bachelor doesn't have anything to do with the arguments that MGTOWs make. It has nothing to do with the divorce laws or paternity laws or palimony laws or child support laws. It has nothing to do with any of that. It has to do with the fact that the women who wanted me, I didn't want, and the women I wanted didn't want me. The end. I want the women I want. The women that you don't want don't count. That shouldn't come as any great shock because that's how women view it. The men that you don't want don't count. See, in women's minds, the only men who count are the women that you want. So I learned from the best. The only women who matter to me are the women that I want. The women that I don't want don't count. I want what I want. So just because a woman wants me doesn't mean anything to me. I want what I want. Because that's how directed, industrious, ambitious, smart, that's how they get down. They want what they want. We just don't take anybody. Everybody can't be a Marine. Everybody can't be a SEAL. Everybody can't go to Harvard. I want what I want. So the women who want me, that's great. I'm flattered, but no. By the way, ladies, especially those over a certain age, we're going to be talking about this tonight. For especially ladies over a certain age, if your life was a relationship resume, how would it look?
Appreciate that super chat. Fantastic. Shout out and salute to Fantastic. We about due for another one-on-one, by the way. Fantastic. We probably send you an email. We can get together, get something figured out. Could definitely me and Fantastic always rock the house and stir up a lot of controversy I'm not gonna bring that up. You ran BGS off my platform. I'm still upset with you about that. But shout out to Fantastic. Pablo Frescobar in the building says, Obsidian, remember that SYSBM tried to escape BFF and it followed them to Brazil and Ethiopia.
I do indeed. Mr. Fantastic said, you literally saying, like me, bitch, if you don't want you. I have powerful ways of persuasion. I have ways to make the ladies talk.
If somebody is saying they want what they want, and even if what they want with the thing that they want, if it's real high up there, it's no problem with that, as long as they're down to do the necessary things that it takes to qualify for that thing that they want. And that's one thing that gets unearthed in a lot of those conversations on Kevin Samuels' show. A lot of the women have not done the things that it takes to qualify for what they're saying that they want. And then when he tells them what will help them to qualify for it, they it's like pulling the garlic or cross on a vampire. They don't want no part of
it. Come on, let's not. Now I'm going to go into some real pill. Here's some game for you. Do we really need to act like that there are some sisters who don't like being made to do things?
Oh yeah, no, of course.
Well, there's some sisters that like it rough like that. There's some sisters that like to be coerced to do things. Some sisters really get off on that. Ask me how I know.
All right, Snuggles. Shout out to Snuggles. He said, "What does love look like under the rule of patriarchy?" That's an interesting question. You want to take that one, Obsidian?
I have no idea. I don't think about it. I don't know.
Yeah, I never really thought about what love looks like under the rule of patriarchy, but I think we can understand that if we see a patriarchal household, there's protection and provision, and the needs of the family are met. And I think the lovey-dovey aspect of it is something that, I mean, I think it's kind of a different thing. I don't know. I gotta think more on that one. I never.
What does it look like under the rule of patriarchy? I don't know. I don't think about it.
Yeah, I could think
about relationships in two ways, and Alan Roger Curry is correct to point this out. I think about relationships in two ways: the sexual and the non-sexual. When it comes to the non-sexual, it is definitely transactional, and this is especially true the older you are, ladies. The older you are, the more transactional it is. The more you have to offer to bring to the table. That's just the plain truth. So let me try this again, because I know that many of you ladies are listening. If your relationship life was a resume, what would it look like?
All right, Gabe A, you're too smart for that question that you asked, and you know that's been so yeah, I'm not even. Gabe A threw out a weird question in the chat. Charles Merchant in the building, he says they simply took some red pill ideology to reshape and steal the black love industry. Yeah, sounds like you're talking about Kevin Samuels on that one.
Yeah,
I'm not 100% sure. It sounds like he's talking about how Kevin Samuels has essentially infused red pill ideology or red pillness into the whole black relationship talk. I guess.
Can Mr. Merchant cite 3 simple examples? I like to know with more specificity what he means by that. Can he give 3 specific examples of how they took some red pill ideology? Give me 3 examples of red pill ideology to reshape and steal the black love industry. Give me 3 simple examples, and then give me 3 names of those who have done so.
To be red pill is to have the to see the world for what it is, to see the truth.
Oh, that's fine. I would like him. He's the one that made the statement. I would like him to cite the examples. There was three.
You know what I'm saying doesn't interfere with his examples. It may help him come up with better examples.
But I don't want you to help him. Why are you helping him?
What'd you say?
I don't want you to help him. You didn't need your help to come up with the question or the statement.
Okay, I'm going to make my statement regardless, whether it helps him or not helps him. Red Pill is seeing the truth of reality for what it is. What's wrong with there being truth and reality in relationships? So there's that. Now, you can be anti-relationship, and that's fine, but somebody bringing truth and reality to relationships, how is that a problem? So I feel like we get too much into the situations where we arguing about things that don't necessarily need to be argued. I
didn't ask for an argument. I'm not making an argument.
Oh no, I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to him. His statement. It sounds like it's arguing about something that don't need to be argued. I was making a point to him that if he's saying that's what has happened, I'm just trying to figure out what would be wrong with that. Kevin doesn't talk down on average value men, but he clearly doesn't advocate for them either. Yeah, brothers should strive to be above average, but there will always be an average, but brothers should be striving to get out of the average if you're average. And there's that. I mean, well, yeah, but anyway, not saying he should, by the way. He typically tells unqualified women why they won't likely get high value men. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think that's a fair assessment. I think that's a fair assessment.
Yeah, I don't see any problem with that.
All right, we are closing in on the 3-hour mark. Obsidian said a lot of things today that that more than likely triggered some. I tried to give him some pushback on it, but I know a lot of you probably still got things that you want to say and you want to get in, so feel free to drop your questions. I will see them and notice them faster or better if you super chat them, but y'all can go ahead and spam us up with questions because Q&A. Obsidian does something where and I kind of got a problem with it too, because like I said, it's what's content creators formulating a strategy and executing it, that's fine, but I don't know. It's when you went as far, I don't know, the whole fall in line and march and this and that and all of that. I'm like, okay, what does that entail? What does that mean for the commentator, or as Laro said, the supporter? I'm not seeing the dots connecting. But as far as content creators looking at all the eyeballs that are on us and us really getting on our shit, like I'm with you on that. But then when you put it in the way that you put it, that everybody need to suit up, they need to fall in line, get behind, march, niggas. It's like when you start doing that,
all right. So what's the alternative? Let's go in the opposite direction.
Okay.
Fine. So first of all, who's going to propose it and who's going to sign off on it? In other words,
propose what?
Where's this groundswell consensus forming up around an individual that's going to say, well, this is the preferred method?
Say that again. I didn't understand it.
Okay. If what I'm proposing is untenable, and we agree that it is, okay. So put that on the side, kick that one up to the curb. All right. So what do we propose should be the way forward?
That's a fair question. And that goes back to what I said. I do think content creators need to get together, have those Zoom meetings again, and talk it out and figure it out. So you're on the right track saying that we need to hold on.
Who's going to organize those Zoom meetings? Where's it going to be held?
You're going to organize.
Why me? I'm the guy that came up with the idea that y'all guys kick to the curb. I would think I would be the last person you want to turn to for something like that.
Okay, fair point. But I didn't kick you to the curb. I don't think people kicking you to the curb. I just think that people need the content creators in the space. I think, yeah, getting together and talking it out, and people respect you as a leader in this space, obviously. So yeah, we can do what we did before, but there will be multiple ideas on the table. But I think falling in line and marching to show up to the meeting is one thing. Fall in line, do what I say, dress like I say dress, nigga. I don't know if that's going to go over very well. That's what I'm saying.
Okay. I mean, I welcome the alternative. I welcome it.
Yeah, but we need to get those meetings together. Any questions for the old man? Questions?
Yeah, there was 2 questions. One question was from Silent Lamont. He sent a $2 super chat.
Okay.
I'll answer that in a minute. But the other question, and I think it came from my good friend Ty City, from the Logic Sphere. He asked whether the panel was going to open up. So,
I was planning on doing 3 hours and out, and we are at the 3-hour mark. So I was planning on getting out of here. So that's where I was at with it.
So there's a few super chats that came in, and I'm here as long as you want me to be here, Bernie. So this is your thing.
Okay.
Okay. So Silent Lamont's question, $2 super chat, said, what's the difference between MGTOW and a confirmed bachelor? MGTOWs are politicized. They are saying, and Black Pigeon Speaks is the guy online named Black Pigeon Speaks, does excellent red pill content. Find him here on YouTube. Black Pigeon Speaks. And you can just type in MGTOW. He talks about, he did an excellent breakdown of all of this. And MGTOW's position is that they are essentially going on strike. It's a political thing for them. A confirmed bachelor is just somebody for, non-political reasons, just never married. That's essentially the difference between the two. I never married because of political reasons or legal reasons or whatever like that. They were very personal reasons. The women I wanted didn't want me, and the women that wanted me, I didn't want. The end. And unlike most Black men, I didn't, get on the first woman that showed me some attention. I said, hell with it. I want what I want. And if I can't get what I want, I'll take nothing. I want what I want.
Male Enlightenment TV in the building, aka Crypto Moses, that's what I call him, is in the building. The crypto, it bounced back up to 40,000 and it dropped back down on us, but it'll be back up. But it did bounce back up to 40,000 for a very, very brief moment. But shout out to Male Enlightenment TV. You definitely need to be checking out that brother. He says, here's an alternative. Stop worrying about chicks and focus on the money. We are in the great reset, the best opportunity for wealth. We have been talking about women for over 7 years. Enough. Shout out.
Really good point to Ohim. I'm glad he said that. I do have plans to bring him on my show because I think he has some. I think it'll make for a very interesting discussion. So we have Ike here, and both him, the individual, but the kind of Black man that he represents. I could be dead wrong, and Ike will be quick to correct me. But I don't hear Ike when I'm listening, when I'm reading Ohim's statement. See, I'm thinking the guys like Ike already got their money together. See, here again, we got this market segmentation. See, I think Ohim's message is very operative for the brothers that don't have their act together and need to get their act together and need to focus on it. I agree. But for the guys like Ike that already got their act together, everything is firing on all cylinders. That's a completely different discussion.
Ike is invested in crypto, though. So Ohim's message is for any and everybody, no matter where you're at financially. Investing is. The reality
is that guys like Ike want Black women, and they get them because they want what they want. They want what they want, and they get what they want. So again, we got market segmentation here.
Yeah. You keep weaponizing Ike, huh? All right. Gabe A. Black Wolf says to Gabe A. says, come on, boy. This is all you have to drop. Just drop a 5 spot. Hey, old man, can you play Black Moon. How many? No, we're not playing nothing. Not playing nothing over here. Not playing over here.
We can't do that. But I love the tune too. It's a classic hip hop. It's a hip hop classic. Black Moon, one of my favorite underground, rap groups of all time. How Many MCs was a classic hit from the 90s. But we can't do that. We can't do that. Cut to the chase with a $4.99 super chat, $5 super chat. And he says, ask the old man, do we feel like there should be an official list of Black Manosphere content creators now that there are more eyeballs on the space? I never thought about it. That's an interesting idea. I never thought about it.
There is an unofficial. I don't know how official it is, but there's somebody put together a list of all the recognized Black Manosphere channels. BGS shared it. It was floating around, and there's that. But I don't know how official that is, but it was a list, and it looked pretty official to me. So I mean, there's that. Mr. Shane Vigil said perhaps an actual MGTOW should answer the question. I think he was referring to the difference between a MGTOW and a bachelor. And that's fair. An actual MGTOW should
answer the question as to whether I'm a confirmed batch or whether
no. The difference between a MGTOW and a confirmed bachelor. I think they're saying that an actual MGTOW should answer that question. But shout out to Cut to the Chase. Appreciate your support always. That's my guy. Like Cut. Good brother. Good brother. Pete in the building. What up, Pete? Because there's an infamous. Yeah.
Black Wolf said, "Oh man, I mean for the show now. In other words, am I playing Black Moon? No, I can't do that. I gotta keep from playing the hits for a while. It's technical reasons. But yeah, anyway. More questions, more answers.
Any more questions? I don't know. Do you want to take some people coming up? It's up to you. I was ready to get off at
as long as it's actual questions. We don't do the Sunday testify thing. You know what I'm talking about.
All right. Because I'm burnt out and I'm out of spit right now. But even though you did most of the talking, but I'm still I'm gonna hold myself hostage here for a little bit. Link in the chat. Somebody want to come up and have their say. There's that. There is that. Uh-oh, I'm scared. Ohim want that. Oh, yes. Yeah, Ohim want the link, but that's good. That's good. You can come up and give us the difference between a MGTOW and a confirmed bachelor. So that's good. That's good. I do want to hear an actual MGTOW do that. Oh man, here we go. Ohim, Crypto Moses trying to lead brothers to the promised land in the building. I think I got background. Hold on, wait. When I get more than Ohim later, I gotta drop my speaker and go to the earbuds. So Ohim, the first question on the table, the difference between a MGTOW and a confirmed bachelor. And before you answer that, shout out to the brother Osworld in the building. Osworld 123 with a super chat. Appreciate that. But go ahead and answer that question. You got it. Okay. So shout out to the panel and shout out to the brothers in the chat. Basically, when you're talking about MGTOW, you're talking about it's specifically what it is. Men that are going their own way. They are basically making their own rules. They are no longer allowing society to dictate who they are. So from the beginning, we've been taught what to do, how to treat women, how to interact, how to engage. And this is in every facet of our lives, work, relationships, all of these things. When you decide that you're going your own way, you are basically deciding that you're going to make decisions for your own life. So you don't have to follow the road that everybody suggests, right? That doesn't mean that you're necessarily walking away from women. It ultimately means that you understand their nature, you understand their behavior, you understand how they move and how they operate. And now that you're more enlightened, you get to walk your own path and understand that. Right. So it doesn't necessarily, when you say MGTOW, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're not dealing with women. Now, me, on the other hand, I went to monk mode because that was what was best for me.
not engaging and not dealing with has basically helped increase my net worth, basically drove my debt down, brought my credit up, all of these positive things. So that's why I chose that path. But just because you are MGTOW, it does not mean that you are basically swearing off of women. It just means that you are deciding to live your life your own way. And that's the thing that I don't understand about dudes making comments about it. If you don't understand it, don't comment on it. Just ask the question and learn what it's about before you make those statements. So in a nutshell, that's what it is. If anybody disagrees, let me know.
Right on. Good stuff. Good stuff. Let's see if Obsidian want to respond to that after I read Ray Arthur. He said at the end of the day, MGTOW, he said we are saying the same thing, and at its core, give use a better product. Give us a better product. Shout out to Ray Arthur. Appreciate the super chat. All right, go ahead, old man.
Yeah, I believe the question on the floor, as propounded by Silent Lamont, was, what is the difference between a MGTOW and a confirmed bachelor? And I'm the latter, and I answered the question in saying that the difference between the two, based on over a decade of intensive study of MGTOW and its foundational texts and so forth, is that a confirmed bachelor is somebody that never gets married for a whole range of personal reasons. A MGTOW is somebody who chooses not to marry or further cohabitate with women for largely political/legal reasons, dealing with, paternity law, palimony, divorce, family court, child support, and so on. That's the principal difference.
No, the difference is confirmed bachelors, they still put their focal point on women. MGTOW are understanding that women are not the focal point. Like I said to you before, B. Riley, if it's 10 important things in a MGTOW's life from 1 to 10, women are number 15. We are not focused on them. We're focused on building a better life for ourselves. We're built on creating something. This is why the fellas in the chat are letting you know we are focused on building our finances. We have no time to chase women. It's a dead end trip. We in the middle of a great reset. We in the middle of an opportunity for people to basically walk out of their current tax bracket and go into a wealth tax. So we are focused on that. But every time I turn to this particular sector of YouTube, what am I hearing about? What chicks said, what chicks did, how we should follow them, how we should talk to them, and all of that. We don't have no time for that. Black men are at the bottom politically, socially, economically. We can no longer afford to chase women. As a matter of fact, that is the main reason we are sitting in this place, because we're trying to figure out what they like, not understanding that it's not about that. We were supposed to be building and creating, and because we haven't been doing that, and we've been trying to impress them with our clothes and our shoes and our suits and all of this stuff, all of us now, we are at the very bottom. They are even passing us. They are leading in terms of look at them in government. They're in government now. They're the law now. They're helping throwing us in prison and everything. Why? Because we're missing the ball. We're basing our value on how many of them we can attract. And this is why we stay at the bottom. This is a great reset. And if we miss this, like I told you, Riley, if we miss this, we got another 500 years of being the whipping post for the United States and pretty much all over the world. So that's how I feel about it.
All right. Yeah. Pass it back to Obsidian. Even though one pushback, they ain't doing better than us. I don't see no data on that of black women doing.
Just go look at the votes to convict or impeach the president. I seen a whole bunch of black women in there voting for that. I've probably seen like 2 black dudes. They are, listen, who are your managers? Who are your supervisors in these jobs? Who runs human resources? It's not us. We're getting kicked out of positions that they control. Instead of them saying, yo, we're going to put on our brothers. No, they're throwing us out, bro. They are working. They're focused.
I agree. I agree that they ain't down for us like that. I agree that they ain't down for us like that. When you look at the numbers and how much the average black woman make, how much she worth. They ain't doing good, and they ain't even nowhere.
I feel you on that.
They ain't nowhere near the most
Robert,
educated or none of the stuff they claim they are. So that's one thing I want to push back on. We ain't gonna make it seem like they just kicking ass out here in America. They not.
No. But listen, they're coming up. Look at all of these commissioner and mayor positions. These are all black women, right?
Yeah, but those are, you're using the exception in a very, very small. That's literally like the 0.0001%, bro. Again,
Okay, so how
women,
many
people that
black
hold up,
mayors and governors are there?
I hadn't said
Black
anything.
male.
Just let me count you, bro.
I gotta look up the exact data on political.
Again, you're still using the very, very minute as an example, and that's the exception is never the rule. Listen, the majority of jobs that were lost over this last quarter were women, black women in particular. So again, I understand what you're doing, and you're trying to motivate brothers in the thing, but at the same time, we can do it with some honest context. You know what I mean? Because black women are nowhere near where black men are financially or economically, even politically. Again, if you want to use that as the standard, you're nowhere close to being a black woman president. And don't give me Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris isn't black, and she's not even claiming to be black. She's claiming to be Indian. So
I never said that either. But the
well, I'm just saying. I'm just giving context.
Huh?
Just giving context. That's all I'm saying.
The mayor of Washington and the mayor of Chicago, those are two black women, and they are hard at work making
one of those two. Hold up, you leaving out a very important thing. What also is the mayor of Chicago? What is she?
It doesn't matter that she's gay.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. It matters. It matters majorly, brother. It matters majorly. And I don't want to turn this into a debate between me and you, but it matters majorly. That's all I'll say.
Yeah, I'm trying to.
The bottom line is whether she's gay, whether she's straight, the obvious thing is they are not working with us. I don't care if they're gay or straight. If she's following the LGBTQ path, and the other one in Washington is straight as a board, the bottom line is they are not rocking with us. They let us know every day that they're not focused on us. They are working to basically advance their positions. You saw what happened with Ice Cube. You saw what happened with a bunch of other dudes when they were trying to include them in being black. They're letting you know we're not in that group. So why are we focusing on them when we can be focusing on building our finances and our resources? We've been doing this for over 7 years.
Yeah, that part.
Still want to talk about this?
Yeah, that part. The spirit of what you're saying right there is true about brothers needing to build up more, get their money right, get their finance and all that together, start investing. That's why I will promote you to no end. Y'all need to be over there getting that knowledge, getting that game that Oheen over there giving, and all of y'all who are agreeing with everything that he's saying about quit focusing on women. Y'all know y'all gonna leave this damn channel and go listen to a dating coach.
Get on these hoes.
They're gonna leave this channel and go listen to a dating coach tell them how to get out.
They gonna get on that. They gonna get on Tinder. They gonna hop in an inbox. They gonna do all these things. Let me say something real quick.
They dropping all them 100 emojis in the chat. 100 emojis in the chat.
Liking the pictures and everything. I be seeing y'all niggas on IG. I be seeing y'all on IG liking these little thotties. Yeah. But let me say this, and shout out to everybody on the panel, man. Shout out Bernard Riley. Appreciate you for bringing me up, bro.
Oh, no doubt.
Listen, man, and I'm glad you said that, Oheen, because I did now it all makes sense. You're MGTOW monk, so you're completely and totally, not in need of women or think women should be a focus at all. The biggest thing I see, and this is where you and Obsidian's point kind of intersects, is the fact of the matter that you can do both, and every man has his own opinion, and every man is his own individual. To Obsidian's point, again, shout out to Kevin Samuels. He's doing numbers, all this and the other. But hey, man, y'all are trying. And we're seeing it. Y'all are trying to turn everybody into like mini Kevin Samuels. No, Kevin Samuels is Kevin Samuels. Everybody shouldn't know. I told y'all, I'm never putting on a fucking suit. I
want to formally say I'm with you on that. Fantastic. That everybody don't have to do that. I think everybody can take elements of what they see other people are doing that are successful. Take elements of it and adapt it to whatever you want to do. Even if that can manifest itself in many different ways.
But you even have examples of it. Like I said, shout out to O'Shea, shout out to Anger Man, shout out to whoever. Again, these dudes that are highly successful in the sector. Even who did O'Shea use before? Mediocre tutorial and reviews, or Ramil Amir, fucking damn, why can't think his fucking name?
Mediocre tutorials and reviews. He don't put on a suit. He be having a do-rag and a hoodie but
Yeah.
he couldn't represent better for what
Yeah,
he's doing and how he's doing it. So yeah, I'm with you on that. I'm about people finding their niche and maximizing whatever and who they are as a content creator. Just maximize it, but you don't have to do exactly what somebody else is doing.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying. Like the knowledge and the things, learn, analytics, learn these things, equipment, all that stuff. I can understand that. And even though, like I said, with me, I can find something to shake around that one too. But I'm gonna leave that alone. That's the point. But to Oheen's point, it's another thing too, brother. Brothers got to be able to talk about whatever they want to talk about because every brother's not at the same position in life. I think I heard you tell your story. Use one for the example for like, hey, you had the old lady, you was buying this and buying that, and so on and so forth, whatnot, what have you, and then you learn from that, and you're past that. You know what I'm saying? Possibly to never return, but hey, who knows? 10 years, 20 years, hell, 5 years down the line, you may change. Individuals are, and men especially, black men especially, are forever changing individuals. So if the wonderful thing about this space is, if I want to learn about finances, crypto, whatnot, what have you, I can go to Oheen. That's Oheen's motherfucking thing. That's his motherfucking block. He got that shit sold up. Shout out to him. If I want to go to the high value conversation or doing this, that, and the other, and all these other things, and women or whoever, I can go to whoever, so on and so forth, whatever. This is the problem with this thing that I see. It's like, my bad. We can't like change the people or the men in this space to everyone being on a thing. If anything, you take that person for what their specialty is and you build them up in that. I would never go to Oheen and tell him, well, hey man, you need to start incorporating talking about women or whatever. He go like, yo, what the hell are you talking about? Get the fuck out of my face. You're stupid. I'm never going to do that. That would be literally me changing him and changing his content. But instead, if I had anything, let's say I had a dude that was, the highest of the high black guy that's a crypto advisor, you know what I'm saying, or expert, then I link him up with Oheen and he gives him tips and so on and so forth and things like that. For the dudes that talk about women, for the dudes that talk about IT, all these different things. That's the issue I'm seeing, man. And it's like people scared to say it, but I mean, but it's not really a slight. But at the same time, I understand because you don't want to go against the ship that's raising all boats. Again, Kevin Samuels' success is residual success for everybody else. So if you speak against it, it's like you hating. But it's not about a hating thing, man. Kevin Samuels is Kevin Samuels, and every other individual man is himself, and that's what makes the black manosphere the black manosphere. That's at least that's my understanding of it.
Okay, so my question.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Obsidian.
Yeah, so my question again becomes, okay, I can go along with all that. So what's the way forward? Here we are in early 2021. This is the situation that we find ourselves in. We have what I refer to jokingly as the axis of BFFery. They're organized. They're attempting to squash, run off, delete stuff. Kevin is facing lawsuit. What is the black manosphere's response?
Okay, well,
I appreciate
my question.
Hold on, bro.
My answer to that would be use the space for what the space is for. Again, it's brothers that's in these spaces that are of every walk of life. If we have a brother out there that's in the law field or whatnot, what have you, and I'm not saying he should do it for pro bono or he should do it even at a discounted rate, but if the very least, he should be reaching out to Kevin Samuels if he's really about the space and about the empowerment of black men and success with the space to help him out with that situation. Or if we have somebody that's working in YouTube, again, certain individuals may have links and stuff to people that work in YouTube, Silicon Valley, whatnot, what have you. Again, this whole thing, man, is about networking. And ironically enough, this is coming from the, the biggest lone wolf out of the thing. But I do understand the importance of teamwork. If we do this thing on a teamwork aspect, I think we come out on top. And more importantly, I don't even think it's a need of us addressing them. They're addressing us. Kevin Samuels says himself all the time. There's no such thing as bad publicity. So I just say we completely and totally ignore them, if anything, or I'm gonna go ahead and bring up the elephant in the room. Jessica X is doing the bang up job. I mean, shit, she's got women that are calling her out now that's got, been in this game, 10 plus years and, 10 times the sub she has, responding to her and trying to literally get her videos flagged, like coming down to the point to say it. So the fact of the matter is, man, is what people have to understand and realize is that when you have a good battle strategy that's working, your enemies will let you know. You don't have to go ask them. You don't even have to really confront them. They're scrambling right now. That's why they have to come together. We're seeing all these fake alliances. It's not going to last. So, and like I said, unlike now that you guys talked about however long ago it was, Obsidian, where you had the original thing, like the hit list and all these things, YouTube, the rules have changed. This space has changed. You have a lot more men. You have a lot more support from the financial aspect, from content creators, all these different things. So if it's a thing we want to map out, I mean, we can definitely do that. But I don't really see this as a problem. From Kevin Samuels as an individual, yeah, the lawsuit thing, but from the looks of it, it looks frivolous. So I don't even understand why that's being brought up. But at the very least, I'm just saying, you know, we could come together and just, you know, hone the thing and focus on this and the other and whatnot, what have you. I don't know, or just assign hitmen, assign dudes. That's what they do. Somebody that's willing to pick up the sword, and all they do is go at the necks of these individuals that want to come against the squad, that want to come against the team. It's many avenues to take in order to, you know, get the goal of the mission accomplished. To me,
to explain that,
yeah,
the Kevin Samuels lawsuit.
I appreciate you having me on, but
hey, are you wait a second. I'm a call on you in a second. Go ahead, Oheen.
Oh, my bad.
So the Kevin Samuels lawsuit, right? The reason why people are talking about it is because it's far reaching. It not only affects him, it affects all of the black men here in this space, which is why a lot of people had a lot of pushback for Kevin when he presented his idea. Right now, he is successful. We're not going to doubt that. But what people are questioning is, why is he successful? Right? Because I did a show about this when I was talking about the Trojan horse. And if you guys remember, you guys were here before me and Raleigh was here. You guys received a lot of pushback. You were getting doxxed. Your channels were getting flagged. Your videos were being taken down. People's channels got canceled. A lot of the old school guys left because of that. But what that did was it made the space stronger. It made our walls higher, right? And I think that a lot of females, they got smart to that. They realized the more they pushed against us, the stronger this space became. So what they did was they used, and like I said, I think Kevin Samuels had a genuine idea. I think he really wanted to elevate the space. I think he wanted to bring black men and women together. I really believe that. But I also know that the women, they had an ulterior motive. Right. And how is that proven? It's proven by the fact that he did a show where he was focused on something else, and a woman forced a conversation that he wasn't even focused on. Think about that. He said, we're not even doing that tonight. And she said, I know, but this is the first time I get to see you. He did what she wanted, and now she's bringing a lawsuit. Right. So what this can possibly do, can push Susan Wojcicki to totally change our space. We could get shut down because of this, right? And the lawsuit may be frivolous, but he can go through a minimum of 2 years of litigation and upwards of $100,000. So it's not even about the fact that she is, her lawsuit is frivolous. It's about the hardship and the stress that it could cause for him and this space. So I think that's why people are, concerned about it.
All right. Nick Penn, thank you for the super chat. Appreciate that. He says, fantastic was spot on. Agreed. He's keep it techie in the building. He says, I said exactly what Fantastic just said in 2019, but yeah, called me. Oh, wow. that's shocking. I didn't think Fantastic said anything. Simbish, you take bits and pieces from different content creators and apply it to your life. Not everybody going to think the same. Right on. All right. We're going to go Red Pill God. That's a interesting name. Thank you for your page. Go ahead, you got it.
Oh yeah. I subscribe to the MGTOW movement, and it's crazy because actually my younger brother actually got me on to the Red Pill and all of that. Long story short, the world's population is half women, 50% women roughly. And there's no way that you can just say, I'm done with women, I avoid women. I understand you saying that you don't want relationships and all, or you don't want to have sex with women. That's called mental monk. Long story short, when it comes to YouTube channels, I understand that some men may only talk about women, some men may only talk about finances, because YouTube is a funny place where you only have to worry about one topic. One topic is your main focus. That's how you grow. That's how you grow an audience. So for each man that's in a manosphere, we got to understand that you got to watch each one of these channels to take something from each individual channel instead of going to one channel and saying, hey, you should talk more about this. You can't tell them what to talk about because it's their channel and that's what brings them in views. But as long as that they're being genuine about it. So there's multiple parts in life. You can't expect one man to talk about every subject under the sun. So I understand each channel doing their own thing. And also, like, when it comes to MGTOW, you can still deal with women. You could even marry women in a sense that you have your own freedom. As long as you're not giving up your freedom, as long as you're not giving up your rights, like, hey, I got to check in with the missus first. You know what I'm saying? As long as you don't have to do all of that, then I think you still could be MGTOW because you're inevitably going your own way. And that's the whole point. Women are supposed to follow you. They're supposed to go into your life, however you got it situated. And every man is different. Every man doesn't have to be a freaking millionaire, or a man could live in his RV and travel the country and be just fine and be happy about it. Not everybody have to subscribe to the same lifestyle. Success isn't
right on.
Right. Success, all right.
Oh no, well, you got a question for the old man. You got a question for the old man. Obsidian. You got a question for Obsidian.
I think this is the part where you say something.
Yeah, I'm talking to you, Red Pill God. Did you have a question for
question for Obsidian? Right. My question would be, all right, so a lot of people say that well, a lot of people try to find flaws in like these content creators, trying to say, oh, like, for example, I'm not saying this, but I see this a lot, like saying, oh, Kevin Samuels is too feminine, or you see, oh, like, for example, on my channel, it's very controversial. I get it, but like sometimes, like, I paint my fingernails on like black, right? It's not like a feminine thing. It's like
I'm partial to people that cam up. That's why I let you up. You got
a hat, brother. Brother, do you have a hat?
Huh?
I'm gonna need you to take that and throw it across to my brother, man.
No, my question is basically like, oh, my bad, man. It's more of a dark thing, because just it's not like how y'all may think, like a rocker thing, because I do music.
You didn't have a specific question.
So my question is, what do you think about those men that may have like what you call beta male traits, but still call themselves masculine? Like, do you think that those men are I would say, what do you think of those men? Just I don't know, because not every man is extremely masculine. Like,
bro, you can't. Hold on, wait. You can't. Let me jump in front of Obsidian real quick, brother.
He put the question out there. Thank you for the question, home. Thank you for the question, man. All right, pulling up on the scene with his ceiling missing. All right, go ahead. Go ahead. Go.
Man. So let Obsidian have it, man. Like, Jesus, hey, man. Hey, all y'all talking about cam up. Hey, if you get on cam like that, I'm on your ass, boy. I swear to God, boy, you better not, boy.
You know what, the dude that was on Jessica last night that you said he had facial hair, had a beard with no eyebrows.
I know he had a handful of hair with no eyebrows, no facial hair, nothing. It's weird. I don't know what the hell's going on.
All right, hold on. Well, y'all gather your thoughts. Brother Pete had the bit with a super chat. He says, in principle, MGTOW should mirror Proverbs 31:3. Don't give your strength to women. Oh, I got to zoom in. I know I can't see shit. All right, hold on. Don't give your strength to women or that which destroys kings. Your strength is your spirit, time, and resources. Everything else is secondary. What am I saying here? What is that? Somebody help me out. I'm having a
it says principal MGTOW should mirror Proverbs 31:3. Don't give your strength to women or that which destroys kings. Your strength is your spirit, time, and resources. Everything else is secondary, tertiary or destructive.
Tertiary. That's what that was throwing me off. Tertiary or destructive. All right. Thank you. All right. We got it. Okay. So hopefully somebody could answer that question.
Yeah. He asked me a question, and my response is I don't.
Listen, I can tell y'all how to win this game tonight, right? But it would only work if everybody was with it. just leave these chicks alone. That's it. You want them to come to the table. You want them to be submissive. You want them to follow your lead. Leave them alone. Once the energy that they receive from you guys is attention. So every time they see another video pop up about them, you're giving them energy. We got to stop giving them our energy. If you just leave them alone, you will have what you want. But a lot of men, unfortunately, are not disciplined like that. They think with the little head, they go in there, they give their time, their energy, and their resources. And ultimately, what incentive do women have to change if they know that they're going to get a simp or a blue pill at the bottom of Birkin bag, or to get them a car, give them money, or what have you? Listen, OnlyFans is not popping for nothing. What if all the guys suddenly said one day, you know what? Instead of watching OnlyFans, I'll go watch something for free. I won't even give them my time or my energy. What would happen then? They do these things because they know that they could take advantage of the blue pill mindset. And I'm not talking down on anybody because I was there at one point. You know what I'm saying? So if you want to win this game, that's how you do it. Like, just leave them alone. Let's focus on our crafts. Let's focus on our purpose. Right now, the Great Reset is letting us know we need to be focused on building our skills in cybersecurity. We need to be focusing on coding. We need to be focusing on vocational skills. We need to be focusing on everything except for that. You already know society is going to be a an online society from now on. So people are going to be working from home. People are going to be doing all of those things. These are the things we need to be focused on. The more energy we give them, the more we are losing. And that's why we've been talking about this for 7 years, because as much as guys get on these panels and talk about, we need to do this, we need to do that, dudes still go out there and simp. So
Soul Provider said, tell the dudes making 70 ways to get her number videos that shout out to Soul Provider Speaks. But yeah, that's oh man. Anybody got anything else they want to throw on the table? We done went round and about. Homeboy that came up, I apologize. Hey, we come with the jokes on here. Hope he didn't take it.
That was light. That was super light. He definitely do like his avatar though, and keep that hat on, brother. He need to put that hat on all the time.
I apologize. I will apologize, but hey, they got to get little jokey jokes here and there. They gonna come and go. But all right. We are 3 hours and 30 minutes in. Anybody else on the panel got anything else they want to add to the equation, or we can go to final words?
Hey, no, I appreciate you, Bernard, bro, for letting me up, man. Shout out to Oheen, shout out to O Man. Catch y'all on the next one, bro. Holla.
Hey, somebody drop Oheen a link in there, because he, like I always say, he dropping good knowledge and good game for the brothers on there. He fighting against part of the manosphere is about the social contract. I mean, the manosphere was built on basically the social contract between men and women. So you're fighting against the foundation of the manosphere when you're saying stop talking about women. But yeah, that's another debate. Even if you agree or disagree with him on that, the knowledge that he's dropping over there when it comes to crypto investing and getting your money right and all of that is very valuable. Somebody drop his link right now.
I'll tell you real quick, since you guys were talking about Kevin Samuels, does anybody know what Kevin Samuels' show actually does? This is to prove that most people, they're looking, but they're not paying attention. Do you know what his show actually does? And I'm pretty sure everybody in here watches his show. This is the whole reason for the lawsuit and everything, which I hope gets tossed out, right? Because nobody wants to see him go through that. But does anybody know what his show really exposes?
Hit us with it.
All right. So if you look at his show, what you are actually watching is episode after episode of women who are mentally unstable, unbalanced, have some type of, issues, psychological issues and things like that. How do we know that? Because every time somebody calls in, they are calling with some ridiculous amount of issues, but yet they still expect a high level of man. So they will call in and say, I have a drinking problem. I have 4 kids by 4 different men. I live in a trailer park. I don't have a job, but I still think I need a man with 6 figures. And then he will try to explain to him all the reasons why they can't get a high value man, and they will still argue and fight with him. This is mental illness on display. We are looking at psychological issues on display. You're looking at individuals who have these unrealistic expectations. They probably have some type of psychosis. And this is what his show basically reveals. And the incident that happened with him was he revealed it so much that they actually went to legal channels because they felt some type of way. So this is what I'm talking about. You guys have to pay attention to what's happening. Don't get, blinded by the suits and the subscribers and the live chat members. Pay attention to what's actually going on, because the answers is right in front of your face. And what it's telling you is this is not a good investment. If I told you guys, listen, we're going to jump out of this plane, there's a 50 to 60% chance that your parachute won't open, would you jump out the plane? And I'm pretty sure most of you are saying hell no, right? Because it's not a good investment. We got to stop investing in these chicks, and we got to start investing and building our finances. The reason that a lot of these women don't respect us in the first place is because whenever they have to go and get employment, they got to go to the white man. Whenever they got to go get something, go to a store or supermarket, they dealing with, Arab men or Spanish men. And if they want to get their hair done, they got to go to the Korean man. So we got to focus on building something before we can even have that conversation. This is why I'm going so hard with this crypto, man. We got to win, man. This is the great reset. We got to win. Before we can have a conversation about women, we got to build ourselves first, man.
All right. I got a problem with I'm all for brothers building, but there is a logical flaw in that argument. They go to the grocery store, they got to go to a white man. If a black man owned those grocery stores, that still don't mean they still would probably be an out-of-pocket competitive bitch for the individual black man, the worker bee that they actually qualify for. That's still not going to make them put their head on straight. So that's why I don't like that particular argument. But hey, shout out to you, man. Got nothing but love for you, man. Got nothing but love for you. You're dropping knowledge. I see Zone over there spamming you and Fantastic's channel. Good shit, Zone. Good shit. I appreciate that. All right, Obsidian, man. Thank you. You came through today. You cooked. You cooked real good. You said some good stuff. You pissed some people off. I got my highest views ever. So hey, shout out and salute to you, Obsidian. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Nothing but the utmost respect for you and everything that you've done for the growth of this channel and the growth of this space overall, man. Salute to you. Make sure y'all go check out Obsidian tonight. I don't know who he gonna be talking about tonight, but make sure y'all go check it out.
We're gonna be talking about the older ladies. We're gonna pick up on some points and lay out some interesting points. Again, ladies, for those of a certain age, if your relationship life was a resume, what would it look like?
And I just want to say shout out to all of the content creators in this space. I know people like myself be giving y'all hell, but I got respect for you guys. I do have my philosophical agreements with the ideologies, but that doesn't mean that I love y'all dudes any less. But I like to have the debates about these things because this is what's going to make us stronger, and this is what's going to make us focus. Like Obsidian was saying, maybe we should sit down and have a manosphere meeting of the minds and see what this can become. Because one thing I do know is, we got to evolve. So shout out to all of you guys, man. I appreciate everything y'all do. I just have some philosophical differences.
Right on. All right, we signing off. Obsidian, did you finish your last words?
Yes, thank you.
All right, cool. We are out of here. Peace. Thank you to everybody who came through today, man. Y'all made it happen today. This was a great show. This is a classic. I might have to change that thumbnail so I don't get doxxed, but not doxxed, but booted or flagged. They
will come at you too.
I'm gonna have to change that thumbnail real quick. But hey, thank you to everybody, man. Appreciate it. We out of here. Peace.